Coosa Steel is a family-owned full-line steel service center located in Rome, Georgia. Since 1972, we've been working to make our customers more efficient by providing steel product supply and processing all in one place. We are proud to provide a large range of products, including hot-rolled and cold-finished steel, stainless steel, galvanized steel, aluminum, and alloys. Our capabilities enable us to assemble and process steel orders within days, shortening your lead time. Coosa Steel. Steel for your project.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
The deadline for 2026 to 2027 priority application and financial aid is February 15th. Schedule your private campus tour at www.darlingtonschool.org/visit or by emailing admission@darlingtonschool.org.
Mark your calendar for Alumni Weekend on October 24th through October 26th. For information on hotel blocks and reunions for classes ending in 0 and 5, visit our website at www.darlingtonschool.org/alumni weekend. We hope to see you there.
It's time for the Coach Groves Show, where we sit down with the head coach of the Darlington Tigers football team and talk about all things Darlington School football. Now we go live to Matt Davis and Ian Griffin, who are standing by with Coach Wayne Groves.
Well, actually, today you just get Coach Groves and Matt Davis because Ian Griffin is enjoying a little bit of away time at the beach and well-earned, well-deserved. I talked to him today for a couple of minutes, and they're having a great time. So, and he may be tuned in right now, so he may be with us at least as a viewer today. But first and foremost, this is the Coach Grove Show. It's hard to believe it. We're getting ready for the Week 8 game. Yep. 3 more games this season. And, Coach, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Back to talk a little Darlington Tigers football.
Absolutely, man. I know it's been a busy week for you as you get prepared for your next opponent, which is going to be the Model Blue Devils. We're going to talk about that in detail later on in the show. But we'll go ahead and dive in our first segment, Coach, and talk about last Friday's game. Tough road game. You guys faced the number 3 state-ranked Heard County Braves. And everything we heard about that team was true. They're a very good football team. But despite the loss, you know, you guys had some positive things happen at different points of the game. Your guys kept fighting from start to finish of the ball game, had a good second half. So what were the things that you felt like the Tigers did well in the game last week, Coach?
Well, our kids still play hard, and they fought to the very end. I challenged them at halftime to come back out and keep competing, and we held them scoreless in the second half. I thought we did some really good things. We played good on first and second down. We played their screen game really well, which we're really worried about, and we fit some of that stuff really well. We fit the run game very well at times, but other times it was very inconsistent. We ran the football on them. We had over 225 yards rushing on them. So there was some bright spots in there to build off of and just keep moving forward and try to keep improving this football team.
Absolutely. And Coach, last week, the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game, well, that was Miles Twyman. And, of course, Miles in the game scored a couple of touchdowns. His first touchdown was on big play, 68-yard play that tied the game with a little over 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. And everybody that's followed Darlington football knows that, Miles has been battling an injury since game one, and just a tough kid. And it's great to see him get some big plays in the game. So what can you tell us about his performance on Friday? And not only that, Coach, what kind of leader and teammate he is, and a little bit about his toughness.
Yeah, well, if you followed our program close, he's battled not just one, but a couple of different injuries this year, and some that have been nagging and just lingered on. But Miles will be the first one to tell you, if he was here, he would thank our trainer, Donnie Brown and Aaron Kennedy. He would thank our swim coach, Andrea Frazier, because all those played a part every day into getting him back, getting him well, getting him rehabbed. And, through the whole thing, Miles, the best attitude you possibly can have. He's trying to motivate his teammates when he wasn't on the field. He's being a leader in the weight room, on the field. So to have him come back and through all that and then have some success and being able to score and score on a big rocket toss touchdown, I think there's a lot of folks smiling in the stands. I think his parents are very proud of him, to battle back and get back on the field. And then, of course, the coaches and his teammates are glad to have him back out there, playing and contributing in that kind of fashion, actually, scoring points and scoring touchdowns. So, Miles is a great kid. He's been a great leader for us. He does everything right. So definitely a bright spot for him to be able to rehab and come back.
And Coach, you talk about everything that he's gone through just to get back out on the field and the attitude that he's had throughout. I can only imagine the dividends that kind of thing pays, with the influence that he has on other guys when they watch what he did to get back and kind of motivate other people too.
Yeah, it's part of being a leader, and sometimes they got to lead off the field when they can't contribute on the field when you get in those situations. But he did everything like you're supposed to do, and we're glad to have him back this week too.
Absolutely. And Coach, of course, one of the things we like to talk about in this segment, we talked about some of the bright spots. We talked about the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game and Miles Twyman a little bit. But let's talk about some of the things that you and your coaching staff identified when you were watching the film of the game, and things that are areas to focus on during practice this week to continue to try to get better and ready for your next opponent.
Yeah. Well, it's been frustrating at times just because we had a revolving door of different players in the game. Can't really get any consistency with injuries and then, a couple other things. But, the main thing that I'm, concerned with, and my message to the team is we have to have more consistency in performance. And what I mean by that is, when you look at the Heard County game, let's say they ran counters 6 different times, and they did counter gut, guard tackle pull, they block down, they kick, play side defensive end, they wrap for the backside linebacker. We rep that play all the time. We rep that play starting in summer. We rep counter gut. First time they run it, our defensive end runs upfield, they kick him out, they wrap, and they get the backer and they get a big play. The second and third time they run it, we squeeze, we wrong arm it, we bounce it to the backer, we fit, we hit it for a loss. Third time, we hit it for a loss. Fourth and fifth time, sixth time, we play it wrong again. Screens early in the game, very first play, they throw one of those 4 screens out there to the back. We space jam it, we shock and shed, we fit it, we get great pursuit, and we eat it up for a loss. 2 more times, we play it well. Fourth and fifth time in the game, they get it. It's so, sprint outs the same way. Sprint outs, we get sprint out, we cover it later on in the game. The first 2 times they run sprint out, we don't get good drops into the flat, and we let them throw it over the top of our head. So it's those little things where, Heard County's a really good football team. We look at the film though, some of it is our just inconsistency in performance. It is what it is. Rocket toss to Miles. We fit it up perfect. We block it like you're supposed to, and it goes 68 yards. We try it a couple of series later. We let the free safety run right by us, and we don't even touch him. So those are the things I talk about to the kids. There's a lot more points out there to be had. There's a lot more first downs to be had. There's a lot more stops if we play more consistent on the field.
Well, Coach, that kind of leads to a follow-up question. You guys are heading into the final few weeks of the regular season, obviously putting in the work to try to finish the season strong. One of the things you referenced there in our first part of the segment was talking about how the kids really fought there in that second half and kept playing. So what's been your main message to the team as you guys prepare for the final stretch? I know you're focused on model specifically, but obviously, you'd love to perform strong these last few games. So what is the message that you're really hammering home to have a strong finish?
Well, just to have everybody focused and locked in on every single snap and take that as each individual play like you should, making the call, getting the call, and then executing the call. And then communicating the whole thing. We double call some offensive plays where the kids have to come up to the line and, all right, if this play's not good, we check it to this play. And so that's a lot on them, but it gets us in our best situation to be successful. So that communication. We have our base coverage, but if they line up in certain formations or certain things, we have to adjust. We have not done a great job of that. We have to do better, more communicating. I tell the kids all the time, they talk all day, but then I get them out on the field and then they close their mouths and they shut up. This is the time you should talk more than anything. I don't care if everybody in the stands knows what we're playing. I don't care if the other teams know what we're playing. As long as we're playing the same coverage and we're on the same page, we're going to be successful. And so those are the things that we're trying to hammer home, just those communication things, identifying and the adjustments that need to be made and getting it done quick and executing it now.
Well, Coach, as far as like the tone at practice this week, how's practice gone and what has the energy been like for you guys?
It's been good. We've had 3 good practices so far. When you have these games, you don't have to get them too motivated or anything like that. They understand that it's a crosstown rival and the implications as far as playoffs and things like that, and just of course bragging rights too. But the tempo of practice has been really good, and I've been pleased with that.
Awesome. Well, that brings us to our first break. But this is the Coach Groves. It is week 8 of the season as far as games are concerned. Of course, this game and then 2 more, and that'll wrap the regular season. But we're going to take a break. We'll get you ready for our second segment, and I'll kind of preview that a little bit. We're going to talk black shirts as we start off the second segment. Also, we've kind of had a middle portion of that segment where we just talked about coaching in general, kind of learn more about that. I always find that really interesting. And then we've got the Getting to Know Coaches question of the week. And I'll just go ahead and let you know we're going to be talking about desserts today. That's a topic that everybody seems to have a contribution for. So we're going to do that and coming up in a few minutes. But we're glad you're with us. And then, of course, our last segment, we're going to spend our whole conversation there talking about the opponent, the Model Blue Devils this week. Super excited about it. We'll be right back.
Are you shopping for a new car, truck, or SUV? Riverside Auto Group has a location to meet your needs. Browse their selection online at riversideautogroup.com or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, Riverside Nissan in Rome, or Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group.
All right, folks, we welcome you back. I forgot to play the bumper. That's why I felt a little weird there for a second. But anyway, we're back with Coach Groves, and we're glad to have you with us on this episode. We'll start our second segment by talking about the Black Shirt Award. So which guys earned the honors this week to wear the black shirts?
On offense, we always try to give it to a guy that doesn't get his name in the newspaper, that's kind of grinding it out behind the scenes. But this kid did a very good job blocking, and then he ended up catching some balls and making some plays in the passing game too. But Trey Moore, our junior wide receiver, number 17, cornerback, he gets the offensive black shirt last week. On defense, our steady Eddie on the defensive line, he's in there grinding it out. He's taking double teams and he's knocking them back, and he's making plays up there on the defensive line. So Bryson Jones, number 55, senior defensive lineman, one of our captains, he's the defensive black shirt. On special teams, He busted through the starting lineup once we got him eligible, and then he ended up blocking an extra point and came through there really hard and basically knocked a couple of kids down and got his hand up and blocked the extra point. So Maddox Rawton gets the special teams black shirt. On simulation offense, he just keeps getting better and better, and he's going to get more playing time and get more playing time this week. But he kept making plays on simulation offense, and we're finally like, well, we got to get this kid in the ball game. So Mitchell Rawton, Maddox's brother, got a black shirt again on simulation offense, so he gets the black shirt for that. And then on defense, I got a young linebacker, tight end that had battled some injuries early in the season himself. Has worked himself back, and he's been a key contributor in this aspect. But simulation defense, Hayden Keith, freshman linebacker and defensive linebacker and tight end, gets the black shirt.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations to those young men, and glad to see those kids really working hard, and some new names that are popping up there from week to week and things of that nature. So, the last couple of weeks we spent some time during the second segment talking about different aspects of coaching that we thought would be kind of interesting for people to learn about. Like myself, that never been in the coaching world and that kind of thing, but obviously you have a great group of assistant coaches, and there's probably kind of a science and an art to kind of putting that together. But what are the key aspects of putting together your staff? What are the things that you're looking for in kind of the process of doing that?
Yeah. Well, with Darlington being single A, there's not a ton of teaching and coaching positions in the school. So one thing we have to do is really work hard with our administration, and when we need a football coach, try to coordinate it with them where they're coaching multiple things and they're contributing in a lot of different areas on campus to be able to get a football coach. So this year is the first year that we've had a full coaching staff in which every position has a position coach. And so when we look to hire guys, the first thing I'm going to look for is one, a good man first, a good man that are great teachers and they care about kids, number one. Second, I look for coaches that can develop positive relationships with players and develop positive relationships, obviously, with teenagers. The third, he's got to have a little bit of football knowledge. Obviously, playing the game, definitely helps. But more than that, just a work ethic and a willing to learn and willing to put in the time and the effort to fill in the gaps of your knowledge that you don't know. So that, the knowledge of the game comes really, really low. And then you want to have a good balance of staff. You want to have some older guys that have been around, that are veterans, that have done it a long time, that can help teach and mentor some of the younger coaches. But you also want to have some young guys that, have a lot of energy, a lot of, piss and vinegar, if you will, that bring a lot of, positives in that aspect to the football team. So all those things you kind of look for, good men, good teachers, guys that can develop, positive relationship with kids, and then, just a thirst for knowledge and a thirst to keep learning. And so those are the things that I look for as a head coach to hire as a staff.
So kind of as a follow-up to that, what does that look like in terms of building the chemistry among the coaching staff? Because, obviously if you check all these different boxes and then you get people together, they have to work together and all those sorts of things. So what does that process look like in terms of getting everybody on the same page and kind of working together as a staff? Yeah.
Well, everybody's got their own opinions and everybody's got their own philosophies on things. But the ultimate deal is, someone has to be the boss and make the decisions. So when arguments arise or we talk about philosophy and scheme and things like that, we always talk, we can fuss and we can throw chairs and we can, but when we leave out of that room, I'm gonna make the final decision, and we're all gonna be on the same page, and we're gonna move on. So sometimes coaching staff meetings can get, people have opinions. People have been coaching a long time. We should do this. We should do that. And then I got to be the kind of the voice of reason in all the middle of it to say, hey, this is what we actually need to do, and this is what we're gonna do, and make decisions and move forward.
And then not to mention being in a room full of, guys that are super competitive and all that sort of stuff. I would imagine that plays a role in it too.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Most football coaches, they've got a little bit of ego to them, I would say, and so, but we're all in it for the same reasons. And again, that's why you get the right guys. You get the good men that understand that, hey, you might not always get your way, but we're going to do what's best in the long run for the team. And so as long as we're doing that, then we'll have a good result in those staff meetings.
Well, Coach, we're going to shift gears a little bit here for the final part of this segment. But, we have a morning show on WLAQ that I host with a different person every week, and we have different topics some days. And typically on Tuesdays, we have a different topic that's just kind of a general thing that people contribute to, comment, things of that nature. And, last week we brought up one of those topics, and this week I'm going to bring up another one from a Tuesday edition of Later This Morning in Rome. But we've been taking phone calls and comments on our Facebook Live about people's favorite desserts this week. And it's been interesting to see kind of the different variety of opinions and things of that sort related to that. So I'm curious about, what are the favorite desserts of the Groves household? Inquiring minds want to know.
Okay. Well, I'm not a huge dessert guy, but, I'm never going to turn down a good vanilla milkshake, if I can get my hands on one of those. Before bed at night after we eat dinner, me and Grayson usually have we're probably lame. It was probably lame, but we'll drink a glass of Fairlife chocolate milk.
Okay.
We like Fairlife chocolate milk at our house, and then every now and then my wife makes brownies, and I don't know what she puts in them, but she makes some of the best brownies, and so she makes those. Those don't last long around the house, and she'll make some angel food cake, some strawberries and things like that in there that's pretty good too. So we try to keep dessert a little light around our house, but those are our go-tos, milkshakes and chocolate milk, and she makes the brownies and angel food cake.
I think that's interesting because I'm kind of a simple person when it comes, to desserts as well. So you mentioned the vanilla milkshake. And there's kind of debate. My wife kind of feels like vanilla is a base flavor, but I think it's a legit full-on flavor. It's like one of my favorite things. And she'll laugh at me when we go to the ice cream shop and I get a vanilla milkshake. She's like, "You're going to get a vanilla milkshake and you got all this stuff here?" I'm like, it's fantastic. Simple can be good.
That's right.
So I go in that direction. I also like a good bread pudding. That's fantastic to me. Key lime pie. Those sorts of things will be my favorite. Boston cream pie, especially if you're up in Boston. There's a place that's called Mike's Pastry. And if you talk to the locals about it up there, they'll probably tell you to go somewhere else because it's kind of become a tourist destination over the years. And if you go there, there's big lines of people trying to get in there and get it. But it really is good. So anyway, if you're ever in Boston, make sure to get you a cannoli or a Boston cream pie at Mike's.
What were did you have some crazy desserts or anything off the wall that people have been commenting and calling in on?
Not a whole lot. We've had a lot of banana pudding and stuff like that. We've had a lot of people with different ice cream flavors that they like. And it seems like people really like Bluebell in particular. So that one's come up a lot during the conversation.
More than Mayfield, huh?
Yeah, definitely. But the biggest thing is most people, when they bring up a dessert, it has some connection to like family or something like that. Yeah. Something that their grandmother made or something.
Well, if I didn't mention this on the show, my great grandmother's sister, so my great aunt, Doris Yother, she made a famous salad dessert. And I couldn't tell you what's all in. I know it's got pineapple. I know it's got whipped cream. I know it's other things, but it is famous at our family get-togethers. The famous Doris salad, and everybody always wants to know who's going to make the Doris salad. And Jess is laughing right now if she's watching this because she's a huge Doris salad fan. So
it sounds like whoever's got to make it. That's kind of a pressureful situation.
It is. It's usually my aunt Cheryl. My aunt Cheryl, she's dialed in the Doris salad recipe, and so she doesn't let the family down without. We have the Doris salad at Thanksgiving and Christmas. So.
Well, we do have a comment here on our Facebook Live feed, and Kelly Fountain chimed in. He said, "Matt, Bowberry biscuits from Armurchie Bojangles." I live out in Armurchie now, so I'm gonna all of a sudden have a craving for some Bowberry biscuits from Bojangles.
A warm Bowberry biscuit's pretty good with a cup of coffee for sure.
Exactly, and yet again another dessert that's kind of simple. One more I'll point out because it's a timely one for this time of year. But my mom went up to Ella J in like Apple Country, whatever you call it, Miss Sayers, however you say that. I don't know. But she brought back some apple cider donuts, and those things are outstanding.
Interesting.
And I have to admit, like I got a sweet tooth. It's a problem. It's a problem. Well, that's going to wrap up our getting to know Coach Groves question of the week. We're going to take a break. We're going to shift back into some football topics. Really, one main topic. We're going to talk about the matchup against the Model Blue Devils coming up on Friday night. So that's when we come back. We're hanging out with Coach Groves, and we'll be back to finish up after these messages.
Are you shopping for a new car, truck, or SUV? Riverside Auto Group has a location to meet your needs. Browse their selection online at riversideautogroup.com or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, Riverside Nissan in Rome, or Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group.
And we welcome you back here to the Coach Grove Show. I'm Matt Davis, your host today. Ian Griffin of V3 will be back with us coming up next week. And we're going to dive into the opponent coach, and we're going to talk about the model Blue Devils. Of course, you guys are hitting the road. Not a long road trip this week, just headed out to the Shannon area. And then, of course, your last two games are going to be at home this year for the regular season, but headed to Woodard-Tuggle Stadium to face the model Blue Devils. So first, tell us a little bit about the strengths of this squad. What really stands out when you've been looking at film this week?
Well, they've got a lot of numbers. They've got over 80 kids out there, if I'm not mistaken. But they have some big old linemen, and they have some athletic skill guys that can give you some problems. Jeff is known for his 3-4 kind of quarters defense, and then Brent Bell, the offensive coordinator, worked with us at Rome, so he kind of took that Rome offense and there's a ton of 10 personnel, 20 personnel. There's even some 21 personnel in there, and he does a good job of running power, counter, power read, inside zone, and they do a great job of screen game. And then he's always going to have his trick plays in there that you got to prepare for: the double reverse passes, the flea flickers, the quarterback throwback, what they call the gypsy play. He's going to have all that. And so you got to be prepared for that. And as long as you have your correct eye discipline with your DBs, none of that should be an issue. So, they're good enough to beat you. They make you spread the field, and they're very solid and fundamental on defense. So, it's not just an easy ball game. And then, of course, you got the crosstown rival aspect of it too. So, you get in those games, anything can happen. So you got to keep your composure. You got to stay focused and understand that it's a 4-quarter game, and they're going to make some good plays. We're going to make some good plays, but the most important one's always that next one, like we talk about. So this is one of those games where that's definitely going to be in play.
Absolutely, Coach. And of course, you referenced Jeff Honeycutt being the head football coach over there at Model. And of course, both of you guys grew up in Lindale, know each other well. You played for his dad at Pepperell. Y'all would have been teammates at least for a year,
yes.
right? Because I know you're a little bit younger than he is, but y'all know each other well. So what's it like, for you personally when you go up and you coach against somebody that's you're friends with like that?
It's one of those deals where, you never look forward to doing that. I want Jeff to go and win every one of his games except for one, and I'm sure he feels the same way about me. But our kids will be ready. Both teams will play hard, and it'll be a really good ball game, really good contest. I told the kids I've never been to a model football game. This is the first time I get to go to model and watch a football game, because we never played them when I was in high school. They were in a different classification than us, and then I moved away for 15 years, and just never been to a model football game.
Wow,
so,
I didn't
at model. Now we scouted them, a couple of times, but they've been at other places. But yeah, never been to Woodard-Tuggle Stadium.
Very interesting. I never would have guessed that out of all those years. Well, let's talk about some of their key guys for this season. Obviously, you mentioned they got some playmakers. So who are some of the guys that really stand out for them?
Well, the quarterback, number 12, C.J. Walker. He's a good player. And they have a wide receiver, DB, number 2, Rance Cunningham. And they get in the ball in space, and he can make some plays. And he has made some plays this year. Running back, linebacker, number 11, Ridge Hardiker. He's a good ball player. I think he's been a 3-year starter for them, but he's a real hard-nosed throwback type kid. They have a linebacker, kid number 7. They play him at linebacker. They play him at tight end. They play him at running back some. Tyler Harrell. He's a big kid. He looks about 6'4", maybe about 225 pounds. But he stands out on film. And then a couple of linemen, 58, Jacob Johnson, and number 62, Tristan Coover, I believe is his last name. And, they're both pretty good ball players.
Awesome, man. Well, we've kind of already covered a little bit what the vibe's going to be like for this particular game. Obviously, you've got, crosstown teams playing each other. And obviously from the fan perspective, which I consider myself in that category without a doubt, You get excited, when Darlington's playing up against the local schools. I wish you guys could play all the local schools every year. These are definitely, we get excited about every matchup, but definitely when they play the local schools, there's a little bit extra for that. So super excited about it. But what would you say are the keys to picking up a road victory against this model team coming up on Friday?
Well, like I alluded to earlier, we have got to be more consistent in performance. No bust, no missed assignments. Okay. Taking care of the football. It's the number one determining factor in winning or losing football games is turnover margin, and we've got to take care of the football, and we cannot turn it over. And then again, we got to have great communication pre-snap, identifying fronts, coverages, formations, so that we can execute our calls and make our adjustments at a very high level. So those things right there. Be more consistent in performance, no mental bust, take care of the football, and then great communication and get us in the right play.
Well, Coach, one last question. You already know what it is. Anybody that's been watching this show for the last couple of years, they know what's coming here. Ian typically asks this at the end of the show, but he's always interested to know, how are the Darlington Tigers suiting up? What's the uniform combination this week?
We're going to go over to model for my first time going to model, and we're going to wear the Stormtrooper look, the white on white, and see if we can get us a region win on the road.
Heck yeah, man. That sounds good. And as we get kind of ready to wind down, obviously it's a short road trip this week. Everybody needs to be there for this game. So let's get the fans out there, man.
That's right. Nothing like being there on Friday night. There's nothing like seeing it live and seeing it in person. And this will be a good ball game. It'll be good for the fans. It'll be a physical, tough game. And then it'll be a pretty electric atmosphere, I'd imagine.
I think so, man. I think it's going to be a special night, a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Well, thank you so much for your time, man. It's always a pleasure to catch up with you and talk Darlington Tigers football. I appreciate you coming out.
Shoot, yeah. Thank you. Go
right.
Tigers.
Go Tigers. That's going to wrap up this episode of the Coach Grove Show. We appreciate everybody listening and watching, and we'll wind it down and hope to see you at Woodard Tuggle Stadium at Model High School as the Tigers get ready for their next matchup, Game 8 of the regular season. All right. Well, that puts a wrap on it. Hope you have a great evening, everybody. So long.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of the Coach Groves Show. We invite you to join us again next week as we discuss all things Darlington football with head coach Wayne Groves. Go Tigers!
national anthem, so we're going to send it to the crowd mic and see if we can pick that up for you. Folks, we welcome you live to Woodard Tuggle Stadium on the campus of Model High School. I'm Matt Davis alongside Gordon Powers to bring you some Darlington Tigers football tonight on the live stream and also on the radio. We're so glad to have you with us and hope you enjoyed the national anthem. But the Darlington Tigers at 2-5 and 0-3 in region play are on the road to take on the Model Blue Devils, 1-6 and 0-3 in region play. And Coach Powers, looking at these teams, on the field, of course, you've seen Darlington play every game this year. I'm sure you probably had the opportunity to get some information about the Model Blue Devils, maybe even look at a little film. I think these two teams match up pretty well tonight.
I think it's going to be a great matchup. I got to see Model play Trine when Darlington was off that week earlier in the year. It's Brent Bell is the offensive coordinator, and they've got some guys on offense, and just like Darlington, and they've got a few guys that can hurt you in a hurry, and Darlington's got the same guys with their speed and their quickness, and the defenses are pretty much the same. I mean, they're not showing a whole lot of success, shutouts and so forth, but very very similar teams.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. We'll give you a little series history here. Darlington leads the series 24-6. The Tigers have won the last 13 games in the series. The last win for Model and Series was back in 1997. The first meeting in the series was a 35-6 Model victory back in 1972. Interesting fact here at the time, Ralph Tuggle, of course, one of the individuals that this stadium is named after. He was the head coach at Model that particular season, and Charlie Davidson was the head coach of the Tigers. So I always like to throw those interesting facts out there to the listeners. But I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a break, a 2-minute break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the head coaching matchup here tonight, Wayne Groves and Jeff Honeycutt, and we're also going to talk about some key players for your Darlington Tigers as well as the Model Blue Devils. A little bit later on in the pregame, we're going to give you our keys to the game. Coach Groves helped us out with that on the Coach Groves Show earlier this week, and then we're also going to give you the results of the coin toss and the kickoff. We are about 11 minutes from kickoff. Let's step out for 2 minutes. We'll be back with more of the pregame.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
Coosa Steel is a family-owned full-line steel service center located in Rome, Georgia. Since 1972, we've been working to make our customers more efficient by providing steel product supply and processing all in one place. We are proud to provide a large range of products, including hot-rolled and cold-finished steel, stainless steel, galvanized steel, aluminum, and alloys. Our capabilities enable us to assemble and process steel orders within days, shortening your lead time. Coosa Steel. Steel for your project.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
And we welcome you back live to Model High School. We're at Woodard-Tuggle Stadium as we get you ready for the kickoff between your Darlington Tigers and the Model Blue Devils. We're going to go ahead and jump into the coaching matchup here for tonight. We're going to start with the head coach of the Darlington Tigers, Coach Wayne Groves, and in his third season as the head coach of the Tigers, is 13-16 with 2 playoff appearances as head coach. He's the former DC for John Reed at Rome. 3 times during his tenure, Groves led the #1 defense in the state. Prior to that, he was the defensive coordinator at Valdosta High, where his 2014 defensive unit was ranked #1 in the 6A ranks in points allowed. So the man certainly knows how to coach a defense and is doing a fine job as the head coach of the Darlington Tigers.
Well, it's kind of unique because both head coaches are defensive guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah, defensive guys, and they've been at some good places, and this year, I think both squads, elaborating back on their defense, are very young on defense. I know Model is very young. You know, they only have 5 seniors on the roster, but their defense is young. And I know Coach Groves has had to play a lot of young guys on defense, and I know those 2 defensive coaches are pulling their hair out at times.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. And speaking of Jeff Honeycutt, the head coach of the Model Blue Devils, this is his 7th season at the helm of the Model Blue Devils, which kind of blows my mind. Time really flies. As a matter of fact, in Floyd County, he is the longest tenured coach right now in Floyd County schools. So his team has posted a 32-40 record with 4 trips to the playoffs, including a couple of second round appearances during his tenure. It was recently announced that Jeff is going to be inducted into the Rome Floyd Sports Hall of Fame coming up in February. He was a 4-sport athlete in high school, including being named All-State First Team defensive back his junior and senior years. Went on to play college football at Tennessee Tech, where he won the Golden Eagle Award. And on top of being a great athlete, great coach, he's just a heck of a guy, and I know him and Coach Groves have been buddies for a long time. So this is one of those kind of interesting matchups, Coach, when you got a coach against your friend. Yeah. You want them to be successful every night but one night in the season, huh?
That's true, and that's happened many times with me, but they're both cut from the same cloth. They're going to be they're all about getting physical and out hitting people, and they both got some old school in them.
Well, let's talk about some key players. We're going to start with your Darlington Tigers, and we'll talk about a young man that was the Honeymoon Bakery player of the game last week, scored twice, highlighted by a 68-yard play on a quick toss. He was injured in the first game of the season, Coach, but he's worked tirelessly and persevered to get back out on the field, help his teammates. But even in his absence, the games he was unable to suit up, you would always see him in warm-ups and on the sidelines during games, encouraging his teammates, showing leadership to his team. We're talking about Miles Twyman. He exemplifies what it means to work hard and be a great example for his teammates.
Well, if there's a Mr. Darlington football, it would be Miles Twyman. And it's interesting to see where they're going to put him on offense because he's been the B-back, hitting hard dive. Last week, early in the game, as you said, he took off on a long run. A lot of talent, and I think he may be getting back real healthy where he can play a lot of defense.
Oh, absolutely. Then we'll also mention number 5, Nate Konchesky. He's the quarterback at times, also plays wide receiver, defensive back. I think tonight he's going to be the starting quarterback, though, and obviously the Tigers are going to have to ask a lot from him tonight to be successful against a really good Model team, and I think he will rise to the occasion.
Oh, I think he will. You know, he's a coach's son, so he knows he's got leadership built into him. And I've watched him the last couple of weeks, on and off, alternating at quarterback. And he's got some skill there. I think it's just a matter of getting a little bit more experience, and I look for big things out of him.
Now, Coach, I know this next one we're going to talk about. It's a little extra for you because he's your grandson. Number 1, Bo Powers, wide receiver, free safety, plays in some different spots as well. Tremendous player, and he's one of those guys that anytime he touches the ball, the defensive coordinators for the opposing teams are kind of holding their breath because he can break a big one.
He sure does. He's got a burst, a quick acceleration, and
do you get his speed from his grandfather?
He gets speed from grandfather, not his dad. Just it skipped a generation. I can't take credit for that, and I don't think Bryant can either. But maybe Christina and my wife or someone gets some credit. But he gets the ball. He always seems to be like one tackle away from one tackler away from scoring a touchdown.
And also, he's one of those guys that you'll see him out there blocking as well, which I know he gets preached that a lot for sure.
Yeah, and I have access to the game film from Bryant, and that's what I like most about him is he doesn't mind blocking for the other kids, and he's not selfish. I want the ball. He's going to do whatever they tell him to do on offense.
Well, I remember Paul Johnson used to say at Tech, if you block, you get the rock. I always kind of like that saying that he had. Well, let's talk about some model key players. We're going to start with their quarterback. He's number 12, C.J. Walker, a senior this year. He throws a good ball. He's athletic, can run. He's a dangerous player with the ball in his hands.
You said it. He's a dual threat, and the game I came to against Trine, he threw some really good balls, really good. It's like watching a major league pitcher, and a guy comes and starts throwing 90-mile-per-hour fastballs, and he's hitting the corners. That's what the Walker kid does. He's just he's scary, but he can throw the ball that way.
Well, let's talk about number 2, Rance Cunningham. They like to get him the ball out in space. He had 6 catches for 69 yards, and Model's only touchdown last week against Pepperell. He's one of those guys that's got some fast wheels, and he's pretty elusive, so you got to watch out for him, Coach.
He is. Last week coming back from Heard County Darlington game and another Darlington game, I got to hear the Model broadcast, and Cunningham was a playmaker, and that's what you try to do. And I think both these coaches going to try to get the ball to their playmakers.
We'll give you the captains here in a couple of moments. We should mention to you that it is senior night here at Model High School, so you're having your seniors represented right now, and then going out to midfield is going to be the quarterback, C.J. Walker, there with the officials for your Darlington Tigers. As far as your captains for tonight, you're going to have number 55. Of course, that is Bryson Jones, as well as Miles Twyman, and I think I see Jace Donaldson out there as one of the captains for tonight, unless I'm badly mistaken. And we didn't see him last week. He was a little bit banged up, so maybe we're going to get to see him in action tonight, which will be a huge boost for the Tigers for sure. And then the third player we want to mention for the Model Blue Devils, number 11, Ridge Hardiker. He is a running back and linebacker, a senior, and Coach Groves talked about him in the pregame. He's a 3-year starter. He's got experience, real hard-nosed kid.
Oh, yeah, he was. I had the opportunity to coach him in middle school, and he's taken away something from a coach who once told me. He's tougher than a pine knot, and that's how Ridge plays. He plays all out. He's got just enough temperament to bring it hard every play.
Looks like the Blue Devils have won the toss and will receive to start the first half, so they'd like to try to set their offense, or set the tone rather with their offense, which it's an interesting trend that we've seen this year, Coach Powers, and that, for the longest time it felt like when teams would win the toss, they would always defer to the second half, but this year it seems like every game we've seen teams elect to receive. Been interesting.
It has. I know some of the philosophy, if you're a ball control team like Darlington, it's not bad to receive the ball because, if you can run some clock, and we've been fortunate the last couple of games to score in the first quarter. But, yeah, that is a trend to come out and just try to get the lead and get it and put the pressure on the other team.
So we're going to get a look at this model offense here first. We are just about ready to go, so we're going to keep it right here. We do want to give you a few keys to the game as we get ready to rock and roll here from Woodard-Tuggle Stadium. We're going to start with consistency and performance. That is one thing that Coach Groves talked a lot about on his show this Wednesday, is that he'd like to see a little bit more consistency out there, Coach.
Oh, yes. I think we all would. Just getting consistent, not having negative plays on offense, not giving up explosive plays on defense, just being more just being more consistent, being in the right place, and it always goes back to turnovers and penalties.
And number 2 is ball security. When you look at the end of games, you look at that turnover margin, that's always a big deal whether you win or lose.
It is, and Darlington runs a triple. It's sometimes the ball is, the good thing is the defense doesn't know who's getting the ball, and sometimes the ball gets left on the ground. But I think it's improved. It's seemed improved as the year has gone, and those big things in high school football and field position are very important.
Well, here we go, folks. Ade Desalu has got the ball teed up for the Tigers. They're going to kick it away to the Model Blue Devils. Models in their blue breeches and black jerseys with blue helmets, and good-looking helmets. Darlington's in their stormtrooper look, all white jerseys and pants, and there is the kickoff. It's going to be brought out from the 3-yard line for Model. They're going to go out towards the right side, hard hit at the 20-yard line, so going to be average field position for the Blue Devils as we start.
Oh, that was a great hit. That's a great way to start the game. That was number 7. That is Stuart Grigsby made the first hit, and he had some help from 50, which is
Ty Wood.
Matt, you're challenging the old guy here putting this small print on this roster.
I know, man. I'm sorry about that.
But I know most of them anyway.
Yeah, I don't think you need it. Probably for either team, more than likely.
Yeah.
But the Blue Devils trot their offense out onto the field. Again, their starting quarterback is senior C.J. Walker, who is also a defensive back here for the football team. And they are going to line up in a shotgun formation here. And we'll take the first snap of the game here from the 21-yard line is where they're going to start after the return. There's the snap, going to roll out to his left. CJ looking downfield, puts a good spiral in the air, but overthrows the receiver a little bit, and that was Chaden Woodley, who is an absolute heck of an athlete.
Yes, he had a couple of steps on the defense. Darlington came out in a trips bunch formation where they stick three receivers on one side, and they're tight to the tackle. And that's a good formation to try to confuse the secondary.
So that's going to bring up 2nd and 10 here for the Blue Devils. They're going to send a couple of wide receivers to the near side this time, as C.J. Walker is going to line up with Ridge Hardiker in the backfield with him as the sidecar on the left side. Going to have a receiver in the slot on the far side. As we get ready for Walker to take the snap, he's got the ball, he's going to hand it off, goes to Hardiker, and he's going to be dropped to the line of scrimmage. So this puts up a 3rd and long here. Tigers defense is going to try to pin those ears back, Coach.
They are. Maddox Rawton whipped his guy at the line, and he was made the initial hit. And 55, Bryson Jones, who we'll probably call out a bunch tonight.
Absolutely. So a loss of 1 sets up a 3rd and 11 from the 20-yard line here for this model football team. So a big opportunity here for the Darlington Tigers defense here to get a 3 and out here early in the ball game. Trips to the near side, 1 receiver on the far side, 1 man in the backfield here with C.J. Walker, the quarterback for Model. He'll take the snap, drops back, obviously looking to throw. He's going to tuck the football and run, scoots away, gets a first down, streaking down the sidelines. I'm not sure if they're going to get to him. Inside the 15, 5 gone. C.J. Walker strikes from 80 yards out in the blink of an eye, Coach.
Just great pass coverage, and C.J. Walker just hit a seam, and he got out on the sideline now. And I thought we had angles on him, but evidently he's got a lot more speed than what we had on that play.
My goodness, what a run there from the quarterback C.J. Walker for the Model Blue Devils, and they strike first blood as we get ready for Elijah Middleton to try to tack on the extra point and make this a 7-0 ball game with 10:46 left to go here in the first quarter. This is the first drive of the game, and it's a scoring drive here for the Model Blue Devils. Playing at home on senior night. There's the kick, and that one's going to be just through, and the score moves to 7-0.
That was definitely a quick score.
It really was. Big play there for C.J. Walker, the starting quarterback here from this Model Blue Devils football team. And, of course, when I asked Coach Groves to tell us about some of the strong players here for this model team, the first name he mentioned was C.J. Walker, and that's one of the reasons why.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's kind of – He's got that speed right up there with the Heard County quarterback last week.
Oh, my goodness.
Man.
Ethan Tisdale is his name, and that's a name you should remember because we're going to be hearing it on Saturdays for sure.
Oh, yeah, that was Ethan Tisdale-like.
All right, folks. Well, Model will get ready to tee the ball up and kick it to the Darlington Tigers, and they will try to answer the bell. Elijah Middleton, the kicker, who just tacked on the extra points, got it teed up at the 40-yard line, ready to make his trot to the football. Got a good crowd on hand tonight, as you would expect this time of year. I mean, the weather is perfect for sitting outside at a football game. We're in the upper 70s. That's going to be a short kick. It will drop in, will be fielded by the Tigers and brought out. That's going to be Brooke Temple with the football, and he is going to shake loose and get to about the 37-yard line.
I don't know if they're trying to kick it short and not kick it deep to Miles or Donaldson. But I'll tell you, Brooks Temple, he's a state champion in track. He catches the seam, he'll be gone.
Isn't that the truth? And he had some really good plays in last week's game, scored a touchdown late in the game, had some really good blocks here for the Darlington Tigers on offense, and did a tremendous job. He's a good player. And so the Tigers get ready for their first snap of the football game. Quarterback tonight, starting out, is going to be Nate Konchesky. Last week we saw a couple of different quarterbacks in the game, Nate and also Levi Duggan. We may see a little mixing and matching in this game as well. But quarterback under center, ready to take the snap from the 38. He will hand it off, going to run that dive up the middle. Carrying the football is going to be Jayton Matzo. Is that how you say his name?
Yes, so. Yes.
So Mazzo was able to get a good chunk of yards, gets it to midfield, and gets a first down on the first play, Coach.
Sure did. If it wasn't for Connor Huffman right there at the end, that may have gone the distance also.
Isn't that the truth? And so the Tigers go back to the line of scrimmage, which is now midfield, and get ready to roll here. Got in their base flex bone formation. Everybody in tight. There's the snap. Going to go quick toss to Miles Twyman, trying to get him loose. And he shakes off a couple of tackles and is streaking down the sidelines off to the races down to the 30. Hurdles over a chair on the sidelines. Little razzle-dazzle there for Miles.
Wow, they had him around the neck.
They did.
I don't know if we'll see the replay here, so they got a face mask, but they had him, ooh.
Yeah, that could have been close to a horse collar there.
Yeah. That's what we used to call in the old day a sickle. Putting an old sickle on them. Oh, it's coming back.
So we'll see what the officials have to say about this in just a couple of moments here. Haven't seen the call just yet.
Maybe they did call a face mask.
Right now, Coach Grove's talking to one of the officials, getting the explanation. I think we're about to get it here in a minute, Coach. What have we got here?
The ball, why is the ball back on this hash? I thought we were.
I'm not sure. Oh, there was an inadvertent whistle. And so they're going to play the down again. Man.
Anytime you have an option football team, whenever I had an option football team, you try to tell those officials before the game, better make sure you're right. I'm okay with a late whistle.
Man.
But when you got all the faking going on, let's make sure.
Well, that wipes off a 20-yard run from Miles Twyman, and now the Tigers go back to the drawing board on first down again. Everybody in tight as they get ready to take the snap. Konchesky's got it, turns, hands it off, B-back dive up the middle, and he gashes him for about 3 or 4 yards. Good hard run there by Mazzo.
Got a flag here on the sideline.
I
think it's illegal procedure on Darlington. I thought somebody got off the ball awful quick. Oh, I see. The slot back was going in motion, and at the same time the fullback moved just a hair early. You can't have two guys moving at the same time when the ball snapped.
9:20 left to go here in the first quarter. Model leads at 7-0. This is going to bring up 1st and 15 for the Tigers now from the 45 after the 5-yard penalty. One wide receiver on the far side as Konchesky takes the snap, looking that way, fires it in, and it's going to be a little too high for Trey Moore to handle. He's been very sure-handed this year, but that one was a little hot, I think.
Konchesky got that ball out there from hash mark to hash mark, or hash mark to the numbers, yeah. He had some zip on that.
He really did. And so the Tigers will go back to the line of scrimmage here in just a moment with a 2nd and 15. Ball still at the 45-yard line, of course. We'll have the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game at the conclusion of tonight's action. It's been interesting this year because we've managed to have a different winner of it every single game of the year. We've never had that happen before.
Did it delay a game?
Sure enough. Did he get the timeout?
Did we call timeout?
Yep, got the timeout in time.
Coach Groves got it. We got the play call in late.
Well, we're going to take a timeout as well. We've got about 9 minutes left here in the first quarter. Model leads at 7-0. We're back in 30 seconds.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
All right, we welcome you back to Woodard-Tuggle Stadium, where right now the Model Blue Devils lead your Darlington Tigers 7-0. Long way to go, though, in this one. I've got 9 minutes left of the first quarter, so I think we're going to see a really interesting football game here tonight from the look of things so far.
Oh, yes. I think that inadvertent whistle threw off our play calling time.
And, last week in the first drive over at Heard County, they had a clock issue, and the Tigers had some real momentum on that first drive. So the Tigers go back to line of scrimmage here on 2nd and 15. There's the snap. Going to hand it off, go with the B-back dive once again.
That's Bodie.
That is Bo Powers, and I believe he's got a first down. A ball came out at the end of the play.
We got it.
But the Tigers got it back. It looked like Colton Moman came in and grabbed a hold of it, and if I caught the correct number. But
a little misdirection. Let's see.
It might have been. Yeah, it was Moman who came in and grabbed it.
Yep, that was fun. We got to put in that traffic. That grandson needs to put 2 arms around the ball.
Y'all talk about that at the dinner table sometimes, don't you?
Ball security.
Family topic. Tigers go back to the line of scrimmage, which is now going to be at the Model 39-yard line. There's the snap. Going to hand it off and go up the middle, and this time the defense was ready for the B-back dive, weren't they, Coach?
They were. We still got positive yards, though. We got 2.
So Mazzo is getting most of the carries from that B-back position. We've seen some wrinkles at that position. We're not seeing Matias Selle tonight. I don't think he's available for the game, and I was wondering what they were going to do at that spot because obviously they've been putting Miles Twyman in some different positions, Coach.
Oh, they have. It's about time for Miles to get this rock.
This is going to bring up 2nd and 8 here for the Tigers as they roll to the line of scrimmage, which is at the 37-yard line in model territory. Konchesky under center, ready to take the snap, dropping back, looking to throw. He's got a receiver breaking open. He's got company in the backfield. He's going to have to tuck the football. Nope, he's going to throw it. Moore's got it in his hands. He is inside the 15, out of bounds at the 13.
Great.
What a catch.
Great vision, too, by Konchesky. Just kept the play alive long enough. And a great catch by Moore.
Oh, man, what a play. Ball's going to be at the 14-yard line, so the Tigers are in striking distance in the red zone here. So let's get ready to go as Konchesky brings in the play call from the sidelines. We'll have a quick meeting with his team before they roll back to the line of scrimmage here with 1st and 10 from the 14. And so the Tigers are going to send everybody in tight on their base formation as Konchesky gets under center and gets ready to take the snap here. On 1st and 10 again from the 14, it looks like we had a flag come in. What we got?
The field judge on Darlington's side, right down near the end zone, threw a flag.
And then the gentleman right here,
Was
white
it
hat,
almost a delay
waved
again?
it off, and we got a timeout.
I'll have to go back and look. Were we getting ready to have a delay?
I'm not sure, but
Shouldn't have been. I mean, it felt pretty quick. You should have had 40 seconds after that.
Well, we'll keep it here through this timeout as Darlington's got the ball 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. got the timeout in just in time.
It's better than a delay, or I'm not sure what's going on. I'm pretty sure that I'm thinking the play clock should have been. I didn't look at the play clock, but I think it should have been after Moore made the catch. Then we had it should have been 40 seconds.
Well, I do want to let everybody know that we're going to have some football on the radio tomorrow on WLAQ. Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets at 6-0, ranked number 12 in the country. They're hitting the road to take on a really good Duke team. That could be a tough challenge for sure.
Oh yeah, I've been there when Stephen played at Tech, and that's a tough place. It's not a very big place, but they're right on top of the field.
I have never been up there, but one day it's definitely on my bucket list to go up to Duke and go to Cameron Indoor and go to a basketball game.
Yeah, we tried to break in. It was locked up.
All right, the Tigers get ready to go. 1st and 10 from the 14. There's the snap. Going to pitch it, get it to Miles Twyman, trying to get to the edge. Stays up, shakes off a defender, and gets inside the 10. 2 flags come in. There might have been a late hit.
Yep. You know, it doesn't have to be a bone-crushing late hit. If you hit them when they're on the white, it's a penalty. We'll assume that. That should be from the end of the play if that's what it is. Yeah.
So that'll be what, half the distance to the goal?
Half the distance.
And they will put it at the 4-yard line. So this is going to bring up 1st and goal for the Tigers here. All right, so the Tigers with a golden opportunity here. Going to line up with the wide receiver to the near side. Everybody else is in tight in their base formation. A handoff up the middle. Spun around is Mazzo and spins around into the end zone. 4 yards out.
Touchdown.
And he scores a touchdown. The Tigers have answered the bell.
They have. As a great drive, had to overcome a penalty, had to overcome an inadvertent whistle where we had a 12-yard gain.
So J10 Mazzo, the freshman running back, is able to score there on a B-back play. And now Ade Desalu is on to try to tack on the extra point. And if he can get it through, we're going to have ourselves a tie game with 6:27 left to go in the first quarter. And he does. He's almost automatic.
He is. He kicks the extra point pretty far.
He really does. All right, 6:27 left to go here in the first quarter. Darlington has answered. We are tied up at 7 apiece. So this has been a fun ball game here for the first half of the first quarter.
Well, my prediction was it's going to be a close game.
Oh, me too.
So they're living up to it so far. But like you said, there's a lot of time left. Both squads scoring on their first drive.
And good news for Darlington Tigers fans, you know, when you look at the schedule at the beginning of the season and realize that there were going to be 6 road games to 4 home games, of course. Obviously this week, not as far a road trip as most of the ones we've had to take this year. But the last 2 games of the regular season are going to be at the friendly confines of Chris Hunter Stadium, which is nice to see.
Yes, sir.
I know the Tigers are going to be excited to be in front of the home fans and vice versa the last 2 weeks of the season. And so Desalu ready to kick it back here to the Model Blue Devils. And toe meets leather. That'll be end over end. Will drop in at about the 25-yard line. Kind of bobbled it a little bit. Picks it up. It's going to cut back towards the...
Yeah, that's Hardiker.
He gets it to the 30, Coach.
Yep. I think that was Ridge Hardiker that picked it up. And as you say in the radio booth, a host of Tigers on the tackle.
That's exactly right. All right, so Model is going to have good field position as they come back to the line of scrimmage from the 31-yard line. Their first drive started at the 21. They lost a yard on the second play from scrimmage, and then C.J. Walker, their quarterback, scored on an 80-yard run on the third play of the game. And so for them, it's much better field position, but it didn't matter last time. Trips to the near side. Man motions, going to cut back to the near side, and we've got a whistle. Offsides against Darlington.
I didn't see that. at the replay.
Yeah, we're going to get another look at it here in the booth.
You can't. I can't see
didn't see
anybody unless they lined up offside. Sometimes I don't know how the rule is now, Matt. Now they're calling it. I think if you're lined up in the neutral zone when the ball snapped, they'll just call it.
Well, that spot's modeled 5 yards, so that's going to bring up first down now from the 36-yard line. So 1st and 5. They're going to line up in a gun. 2 wide receivers to the near side. There's the handoff to Hardiker, and boy, 3 Tigers got on top of him, and one of them was Ty Wood.
It was. And Bryson Jones, Wood and Jones, 50 and 55, the 50 brothers.
So that's going to bring them back for a loss. Lost 2 yards there on that play. That brings them back to the 34-yard line here for second down and what should be about 6-7 yards. So 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. The one on the far side is Bryson Bell. His dad is the offensive coordinator for Model. Used to be the offensive coordinator for Darlington and Rome at one point. There's a long pass. He is going to connect with his receiver. What a grab made by number 5, Malachi Shelley, and a great toss there by CJ.
It was. We said going into this game, he's got an arm. He's right on. Hit him right in stride. Wide open.
So that was a 14-yard play there for the Model Blue Devils to move the chains. And that's going to be their first down of the game, because obviously when you go back to that first drive, they scored on an 80-yard play.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
C.J. Walker ready to take the snap. He's got the ball, turns, going play action, throws a screen up the middle, is connecting with Tyler Harrell. He's streaking off to the right sidelines, inside the 20, and another big play there for the Blue Devils.
Another Model Blue Devil wide open. I don't know if we had some confusion there or we bid on the play fake.
That was about a 33-yard play if I did my math right.
From the backside tight end.
So first down, 10 to go in the red zone at the 19. The Blue Devils with the football, and they have picked up some big plays in their first couple of drives in this game.
Yep.
Shotgun formation for C.J. Walker. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, is going to run the football towards the near side, and he's going to be reeled in and brought down by 2 different Tigers. And, of course, we'll catch the numbers there. You're going to have number 2, J.B. Ragland, and also Stuart Grigsby, number 7.
Yes. Great tackles, an open field. Great tackles. Going back to the Model's two pass plays that got them down here, both of them are hitting underneath routes. The mid-range routes, which that's a good scheme there.
So now the ball is at the 16-yard line after a pickup of 3. That brings up 2nd and 7. Shotgun formation in the backfield with the quarterback is Jaden Edwards. He's been banged up for a couple of weeks, but he's back in the lineup, and Coach Honeycutt is going to call a timeout. So we're going to do the same. We got 3:46 left to go in the first quarter. Tie ball game. It's a good one tonight. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection, or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
Welcome back in, everybody. We're glad to have you with us live at Woodard Tuggle Stadium. Darlington football on the live stream or on the radio. We're going to recognize the crew in just a few minutes. We'll get to that. They always do a fine job with the video cameras and everything related to that. Of course, we do have Lynn Butler back at the studio at Command Central, but we'll get to that in just a few moments. But right now, the Blue Devils got something cooking here late in the first quarter. We got a tie ball game 7-7, and it's going to be 2nd down and 8 out of the timeout with the ball at the 16-yard line. And you've got Edwards in the backfield here with the quarterback C.J. Walker. as Walker gets ready to take the snap with 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near, working right to left. They're going to fake that. No, handed it off, trying to, and the ball was fumbled, picked up by the Darlington Tigers.
Yeah, number 2.
Ragland,
J.B. Ragland. They just never got the exchange now at the mesh point.
So J.B. Ragland comes in. Good heads-up play for that young man. Recovers the fumble for the Darlington Tigers, and that's the first turnover of the game.
I think I said at the break we need something to happen down here.
Absolutely. And so Model had an opportunity there, had the ball at the 16-yard line on that down, fumbled the football in the red zone, and now the Darlington Tigers are going to take over at the 16. With 3:41 left to go here in the first quarter with the game tied up at 7 apiece. Critical turnover there for Model, and here is a quick pitch, going to get it to Bo Powers, who stays up and gets across the 25. About a 9-yard pickup.
Oh, yeah, if you can establish at a triple option, you establish the pitch, that you're not afraid to pitch the ball and get on the corner, it really means the defense.
Well, I didn't mean to sell your grandson short there. I said 9 yards. Why don't we call it 11?
Okay.
He got a first down.
Yeah, but if you don't ever pitch the ball much in triple option, then the defense just ignores it, and they concentrate on diving the quarterback. But right there, that'll open up a dive here in a second.
Going to have a wide receiver to the far side on 1st and 10 from the 27. There's the snap. Going to throw a quick pass to the outside. Bobbles it around. Finally reels it in. That's going to be Trey Moore with a circus catch, and he gets about 6 yards. That was a great effort staying with that ball.
That might be the best 6-yard reception in high school football. 2, 3, 4, 5. He caught it on the 5th time.
I mean, he stayed with it all the way into his arms.
Oh, man, I tell you what, they got him set up if they want to pump fake that and send him deep.
Almost to the 3-minute mark. We got 2nd and 5 coming up from the 32. And here's the snap. Konchesky going to hand it off, goes with the B-back dive, carries the pile, and gets the first down. And I believe that was going to be Mazzo again.
Yes. Jayton Masso. A freshman. They got several young kids on here that are pretty good.
Well, he doesn't look like a freshman when he's running the ball. That is a strong kid right there. He took 2 or 3 guys with him that time.
And he got thrown into the fire when Twyman got hurt, so he got some experience earlier in the year.
And that has been the case a lot of the season. There's been a rotating cast of guys with injuries this year. It's been some bad luck in that aspect. There's the snap. Quarterback's going to run the football, dives forward at the end of the play with extra effort, makes something out of that.
Sure did. There's a great block by Miles Twyman out here on the corner. Got to make him play the whole field.
So that's going to bring up 2nd and 4 after he got 6 on that play. And that brings him down to the 47-yard line. That was a good run there by Konchesky. Fantastic effort for that young man. So under the 2-minute mark here of the first quarter, we're tied at 7 apiece. Model fumbled at around the 16-yard line on their last drive, and Darlington Tigers have almost got it to midfield here. There's the snap. Going to be a quick toss. Go to Bo Powers. He is on the near side. Gets a good block. Now he's streaking down the sideline, stays up, and gets inside the 30-yard line. Wow. That's a 20-plus yard run.
That was nice. I'm going to tell you what, that ain't all Bo Powers. You got to check his blocking out on the replay if they got it.
Yeah, let's make sure we give those young men credit.
Look here. Look what's Twyman right here, 12. Boom. Stayed with him, look.
He sure did.
A pancake. Oh, yeah, there we go.
That'll make Coach happy for sure.
Now, that right there tells you a guy can play. When he can carry the ball and block like that.
That was impressive. You're not kidding. I'm glad you pointed that out.
I knew there was some good block out there.
Wide receiver off to the far side. That's going to be Moore. 1st and 10 for the Tigers inside the 30, and they're going to hand it off and go up the middle. Another B-back run is successful and gets him close to the 20. Mazzo.
The best thing you can do now, we're getting to mix it up. When we have some success with several different types of plays, that helps a whole lot, especially when you run the spread option, because all the defense is playing is assignment. And when you're diving it, quarterback keeping it, you're pitching it. It makes them be very disciplined.
I mean, man, when this offense is working the way that it's supposed to, it is a work of art. It really is. Quarterback under center, dropping back, looking to throw, puts it in the air. Nice grab made by Moore, and he's going to be hauled out of bounds. Did he have the line to gain? He was close.
It's going to be close.
I think he got it. Yep, they're moving the chains.
There we go. We've thrown the ball 3 times on first down. 3 times.
And you want to talk about a guy that has really developed over the course of the last couple of years is Trey Moore.
He has
gotten so sure-handed, playing with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, he has. Confidence, definitely.
And he's going to line up as a receiver on the far side as we get ready to go here. 1st and 10 in the red zone. 2 flags come in.
What do we do there?
False start.
Yep.
And that's got to be frustrating, obviously, for the coaches because you just get a first down. And
I don't know what we were trying to do there. The linemen were trying to shuffle back and forth.
But if there's one thing that the Tigers seem to be good at doing, it's moving on to the next play and kind of having a short memory.
It is. You can't shift interior offensive lineman when the center's got his hands on the ball.
So this is going to bring up 1st and 15 now from the 23. And there's the snap, going to hand it off, or he was trying to, and then got clobbered. Nate Konchesky did.
He did. Penetration. I don't see that 53
Let's see.
On model. I don't
have a 53.
I don't either.
That's the end of the first quarter, so we're going to take a break. We're tied at 7. First, we've got 2nd down coming up. After the break, we're back in 1 minute.
Coosa Steel is a family-owned full-line steel service center located in Rome, Georgia. Since 1972, we've been working to make our customers more efficient by providing steel product supply and processing all in one place. We are proud to provide a large range of products, including hot-rolled and cold-finished steel, stainless steel, galvanized steel, aluminum, and alloys. Our capabilities enable us to assemble and process steel orders within days, shortening your lead time. Coosa Steel. Steel for your project.
All right, they've swapped side of the field, and we get ready for the second quarter with a really good ball game, tied at 7 apiece between the Darlington Tigers and the Model Blue Devils. Tigers have got the ball at the 25-yard line with a 2nd and 17 coming up here in just a couple of moments, trying to overcome early penalties here in this series.
It's been an exciting quarter.
Oh, it really has been.
And no punts.
Exactly. We have seen 1 turnover. That was for the Model Blue Devils. Had the ball at the 16 in the red zone. There's the snap. Quarterback's going to turn, fake the handoff. There's the pitch. They get it to the outside, and here's Miles Twyman streaking towards the corner of the end zone, and he is in from 25 yards out. Touchdown, Darlington Tigers.
Woo.
And they take the lead.
There you go.
Wow.
No substitute for speed.
Isn't that the truth?
Dive. Quarterback. There's the pitch.
And so now the Darlington Tigers have taken their first lead of the game, Coach.
Yep. We kind of caught Model's defense inside. They kind of underestimated that speed. The same thing we did with Walker on their long touchdown run. They had 2 guys there, but he just outran them.
Here is the extra point attempt from DeSelu, and it is up and through, and it is 14-7 in favor of your Darlington Tigers.
Roughing the kicker. I hope he's okay. Oh, no.
And he is definitely getting up pretty slow there.
Why is he pointing at us? The referee pointed as a penalty on us. Makes no.
It looks like we're going to see him kick it again here in a minute.
I saw a big pile up right on top of the kicker.
It was a hold, according to Jeff Gable, who is the voice of the Model Blue Devils, sitting right next to us. appreciate their hospitality and letting us share the booth with them tonight.
Well, I'm biased, but I'm thinking, okay, we held them, but they roughed the kicker. I'm thinking that should be a wash.
Here comes the kick from a little further out, and plenty of leg. Did it go through is the question. It did not. That was going to be wide. I believe it was wide left. And so that's one of those things that you look at, sometimes the destiny's in the details,
Well, it always fools me from off in the distance. I think most of them look good, especially if you're at a college game and you're way up in the stands. If they're close, they look really good, and then you see them on the video board, and it's like, oh, that thing was like 10 feet off.
And so with 11:52 left to go in the first half, the Darlington Tigers lead it 13-7. Missed the extra point on the second try after there was a holding penalty on the first attempt. And so obviously they backed them up 10 yards and had to take another swing at it, but unfortunately it didn't go through. Glad you're with us tonight. At the end of our action, we'll give you the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game. But then after that, it's the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show with Lynn and Austin, and we always invite you to call in after the games. We may even see if we can get Coach Powers to call on his way home tonight. That'd be a treat for him. Well, we get ready for Desalu to kick it away here for the Tigers. Here comes the kick. It's going to be end over end, pretty deep kick here. It's going to be fielded and brought out at the 5-yard line and driving to about the 20. He is going to take a pounding there by the Tigers.
That's Grigsby again.
Grigsby's fired up tonight, isn't he?
He sure is. Grigsby, and I think Ty Wood was helping out there again.
All right, so it'll be 1st and 10 Blue Devils from the 20-yard line as they get ready for their first possession here, the second quarter of the football game. I should mention to you, I know we're a long way before we get to halftime, but Model won the toss, deferred to the second half, so they'll get the first crack at it when we get to the third quarter. But again, we're just getting started here with this second quarter of the football game. Going to have a wide receiver to the far side. That's going to be Bryson Bell. Man's going to motion off to the left side. C.J. Walker, quarterback, get ready to take the snap with Jaden Edwards in the backfield. Also a sniffer on the near side. They're going to hand it off, give it to Edwards, and he stays up and gets to maybe about the 21, 22-yard line. So short gain there, Coach.
Short gain. White, is it Whitewood? 77?
Tywood. No, 77. Yep, Whitewood.
Yep. He was fired up. He made that tackle. I like to see excitement out of these kids.
Oh, absolutely, man. Get some action here under the Friday night lights. Shotgun formation, 2 wide on each side here for Model on 2nd and 10 with the ball at the 20-yard line as C.J. Walker gets ready to take the snap with all the wide receivers at his disposal. And he's going to have Edwards flanked to his right. Man motions from right to left. Now he'll come back towards the right side, and here's a quick pass up the middle, trying to hit Bell with that. It was kind of a low pass. I think it was incomplete.
The umpire standing right there. Standing right there.
So that brings up 3rd down and 10. Ball still at the 20-yard line here for the Blue Devils as they're having a hard time getting off the mat here on this drive.
Big series here. We need to stop here.
And so wide receiver to the near side, going to have a couple on the far side. Line up in the slot for Model is going to be Malachi Shelley.
We got to watch that underneath route.
As we get ready for CJ to take the snap, he's got the ball dropping back, going to throw a screen out to the left side of the formation, connects with his running back. That's going to be Edwards, and he's going to be brought down by a host of Tigers after a short gain.
Rallying to the football.
And that's going to bring up 4th down, and we're going to see something happen in this game we haven't so far, Coach. A punt.
A punt.
And so the Tigers force a 3 and out, and they will get the ball back. And really, they should have excellent field position where this punt's going to take place from, because the Tigers are in position right now to try to field it from about midfield.
We got 2 guys deep.
You got Konchesky on the near side. And here comes the kick. It's going to go to the far side. Donaldson tracking it down and got a mid on it, knocked it out of bounds.
Whew. That's kind of scary.
Yes, it is. That'll make you hold your breath right
He was
there.
hoping he was going to get a nice little soft hop, and he didn't. Great field position, Matt.
And great to see Jace Donaldson back out on the field this week after a 1-week hiatus with an injury. Coach Groves told me earlier this week that he'd been practicing, but was still a little bit unsure of his status through a lot of the week. But he's back out there tonight. It's good to see. And the Darlington Tigers are going to have excellent field positions. They're going to start at the 49-yard line in model territory as they get ready to take their first snap here of this possession. Tigers lead at 13-7. There's the snap. Going to hand it off. Mazzo's got the ball spun around to the 40. Great run on first down.
He got 9 yards, seven before he got hit. What they're doing, Matt, they block the read key. What that means is whoever's assigned for the dive on Model's defense, they usually don't block him. They just read him. And this time they blocked him. And that means everybody else was going from quarterback to pitch.
It's going to bring up 2nd down and 1 from the 40 as the Tigers come back to the line of scrimmage with a receiver on the far side. That's Moore, of course. Otherwise, in their base formation, there's the snap. Going to fake the toss. Going to throw downfield, trying for the home run, and overthrew the receiver by several yards, so that'll be incomplete.
It's a great down to take a shot. He overthrew it. He had a step maybe, but it's better to I don't want to say overthrow it, but better to
keep it out of reach of
keep
those
it out of reach of the
defensive
defensive guys. Definitely not underthrow it.
Live to fight another down here.
You know, and if things work out here, what that does too, it keeps Model's defense honest. They all can't come run up and play the option.
And so it'll be up 3rd and 1 from the 40. There's the snap. Going to run a dive up the middle, and he's able to get the yard and plus that he needed there. It was Miles Twyman.
That's a little belly play. We haven't seen that before. I think that's what Bodie ran first. They fake to the fullback, the B-back, and then give it to the A-back right behind him. It's kind of like a double lead, or we used to call that belly in the old days.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing something similar to that when you were the head coach of the Model Blue Devils.
You fake one guy in the A gap and then hand it to another guy in the B or the C gap coming downhill.
1st and 10 for the Tigers now from the Model 37-yard line. Konchesky under center. Everybody's in tight in their base formation here. Darlington leads at 13-7. Going to hand it off and cutting towards the near side is going to be Mazzo.
Yeah. Would have got more yards there, except he got knocked off his track and had to go laterally instead of vertical.
So a short gain that brings up 2nd down and 8 for the Tigers with the clock ticking here in the second quarter. Played about 4 minutes of the second quarter, so we got 8 minutes and change left here in the quarter with the Tigers leading at 13-7. Sure would love to add to those totals here on this drive.
Oh, yes.
Especially getting the ball at the 49-yard line to start the drive.
Hit 1 and 12 involved right here.
Absolutely. There's a snap. There is a quick pass to the near side, trying to get it to Moore at the 30. And I think he just got under it, so it is complete.
Yes, just got under it. I tell you what, I'm waiting on that little pump and go because Model is creeping up on the short hitch.
So that brings up 3rd down and 3 to go here for the Tigers at the 30-yard line. So the line to gain is the 27. 7:33 left to go in the second quarter.
But you feel pretty sure we'll go for it if we don't get this.
I think so. Yep.
2 down.
Yep, definitely in 4 down territory here. Here comes the snap to Konchesky's got the ball, faked the pitch, handed it off, went with the trap play to Miles. The defense, they've seen that one on film, hadn't they, Coach?
Yeah, and they came with a pretty much all-out blitz in the middle. I don't know how that guy wasn't offsides. Wow, that's close.
That drops it back to the 32 after a loss of 2, bringing up 4th down and about 5.
They just tried to time the snap up and did a really good job of timing it up.
And so, there's some fireworks going off in the distance to the left. That must have something to do with the air show taking place tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty neat. Quarterback under center, getting ready to take the snap, going for it on 4th and 5. There's the snap, fakes the pitch, rolls out, looking, throws, got a man open, puts it in the air, connects with Mazzo, and makes the grab, gets the first down. What a play, Coach.
What a play. Mazzo caught that on the second try also, but it counts. He's wide open from the beginning.
Got it to the 26-yard line to move the chains, converting on 4th down and 5.
Oh, yes. And that gets, it's the whole thing is ball control. And what's really good is ball control and stick it in the end zone.
Isn't that the
run
truth?
Off about 6 minutes and stick it in the end zone.
Well, let's see if they can do it. They're a step closer there. Got it at the 26-yard line in model territory. Eating a lot of clock here, too. There's the snap. Going to hand it off. Cut towards the near side. Brought down at about the 24. So that'll be about 2-3 yard gain.
Yeah.
For Mazzo.
It's a good 3. I'm not sure. That may be what they call the outside veer, where they run it. They run it one hole wider. Oh man! If he'd stayed north-south, easy for us to see up here. If he just stayed straight ahead, he'd bang his head on the goalpost.
It's funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quarterback under center, everybody in tight and out of base formation for the Tigers as Konchesky gets ready to take the snap. He's got the ball. He's going to hold it, tuck it, and run, dives forward, and gets close to the 16.
That was a double tight formation. We had all 11 players in there together. The pitch was there if he needs that.
So Konchesky picked up 6 yards. That brings up 3rd and a short 2 as he will go to the line of scrimmage. Let's see what they dial up here as Konchesky gets ready to take the snap. Looks off the sidelines, now back under center. And he'll take the snap, turns, hands it to the B-back, and he has got the yards he needs.
He does. You got to run a little bit lower. Hope somebody, we need to show Mazzo this right here. We get them shoulders down a little bit lower. The safety came up and hit him in the chest.
Got it down to
first down.
13-yard line, Coach.
Yep, tick-tock, run all the time off here. I don't think Models had the ball, but one series in the second quarter.
And so Trey Moore gets ready to take the snap. Or Konchesky, Trey Moore's a receiver on the near side is what I was trying to say. And Bo Powers has got the ball, scoots towards the end zone, dives at the end of the play. Did he get in? It's going to be real close, but he is going to be stopped just at the doorstep. But what a run.
That's at Patton Counter. Patton Counter pulled 57. Lane Brasington did a great job.
So 1st and goal from the 1 after the big pickup there by Bo Powers. Quarterback under center. That's Konchesky ready to take the snap at the goal line. He's got it, gives it to Mazzo, and actually it was going to be quarterback Nate Konchesky. Thought he was going to hand it to the B-back, and he kept the ball and scooted to the end zone for a 1-yard touchdown. Wow, what a play.
Mm-hmm.
So a run for Nate. And that is going to be his first touchdown of the game and the Tigers' 3rd. And they are going to go up 19-7. We get ready for Desalu for the extra point here. Having a hard time with names tonight. Names I say a lot. Here is the kick, and that one's going to be through.
It's good.
And that'll move the score to 20-7.
Some people may think, well, we missed the last one. Let's go for 2. But it's way too early to start doing that. Because if you end up just getting 6 every time and not 7, then that can come back to haunt you.
Well, we are glad to have you with us tonight. As I mentioned earlier, the Tigers will be in action every week for the remainder of the regular season. Both bye weeks are in the books. And so we're at Model tonight here at Woodard Tuggle Stadium. Coming up next week, they're going to be back at Chris Hunter Stadium against the Temple Tigers, and then we'll complete the regular season against a really tough Bremen team in the final week. That'll be on Halloween night. So I don't know, Coach Powers. I broadcast plenty of games on Halloween, and I've always kind of joked that I might wear a Halloween costume, but I've never done it. But I did find a mullet wig that I had the other day, so I may have to break that out.
You probably had a mullet back in the day.
You know, man, I never had a mullet, and my dad and my mom were pretty conservative in terms of what they'd let me do with haircuts.
Yeah.
So I never had a rat tail or anything like that.
I can see your mom giving you that look. You know?
It wasn't going to happen. Wasn't going to happen. They did let me have a bowl cut for a while, and I'll be honest, I look like an idiot with that thing looking at pictures of it. just to be completely truthful. The kick's going to be brought out by the Model Blue Devils. 11 has got it, and that's Ridge Hardiker. He stays up and shakes off some tackles and gets to the 30. My goodness.
Running hard. Ty Wood again. I'm going to tell you, Ty Wood and Stuart Grigsby, if there's a special teams player of the game, those guys have made just about every tackle, along with Ethan Height. Ethan Height was in there.
Model's going to start it this drive at the 31-yard line on their side of the field with 3:40 left to go here in the first half. We're almost at halftime. One things we'll do, Coach, at halftime, I'm going to interview you, number one. But we're also going to go over some scores from other area games because things are really heating up. We're down to the last few weeks of the season. It's almost playoff time.
It is. You said there was 3 games left counting tonight, and it's like, wow, we're already there.
It makes your head spin. It really does. Shotgun formation as Walker gets ready to take the snap on 1st and 10 from the 31. Blue Devils with the ball working from left to right on your radio dial. They're going to hand it off to Edwards. He is going to be brought down, and that was Desalu there with the tackle there, Coach.
It was. Kick the extra point and make the tackle.
Exactly.
He's kind of a rangy guy. He's got a little height, and what they call him in college football, they say he's long.
Exactly. 1 yard gain there for Edwards. Great stop there by the Tigers on defense. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 9 as Walker lines him up in the gun with 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. 1 motions to the near side and takes the sweep and is going to run the football towards the near sidelines across midfield. They don't get him out of bounds until about the 40-yard line on the opposite side of the field.
Great run. They've been acting like they were running the jet sweep earlier, and this time they did.
And, one thing to keep in mind here, obviously, you got Brent Bell as the offensive coordinator for this model team. At some point, you're going to see a double reverse flea flicker or something like that.
Yeah, throwback to the quarterback, and, yeah.
It's going to happen. And you just don't know when.
Yep.
Is the problem.
That play was well blocked.
So big chunk play there for Model. Gets them to the Darlington 41-yard line. Going to send 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 on the near. Shotgun formation, and a timeout's going to be called by Model.
They had 12 men on the field.
Well, we're going to take it as well. Just under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Darlington leads at 20-7. Model on the move, though. We'll be back in 30.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
We welcome you back live here to Woodard-Tuggle Stadium, where the Darlington Tigers have got a 20-7 lead over the Model Blue Devils. We've got 2:55 left to go here in the first half of play. Model won the toss, and they did defer to the second half, so they're going to get the ball. Darlington really wants to get a stop here and not give up any points, especially with Model getting the ball out of the break. There's the snap. C.J. Walker's got the ball running to the far side, kind of hesitates a little bit, finds a gap, and is able to get down to about the 30. That was a good run.
That was a good designed run.
Good vision there by the quarterback to wait for his opportunity and take it as well.
Had some patience in there.
Got it down to the 29-yard line, so a first down for the Model Blue Devils. Going to have a wide receiver to the near side. That is Bell. Shotgun formation, wide receiver on the far side as we get ready for Walker to take the snap. Man motions to the near side. And here's the snap. Walker is going to turn, hands it off, gives it to Edwards. Nothing there. Defense stuffs him at the line of scrimmage.
Sent Rance Cunningham in motion. We haven't seen him get the ball yet, have we?
No, and he had 6 catches in the game against Pepperell last week, and really was a bright spot for them in the game. Scored a touchdown, their only touchdown of the ball game. Of course, everybody's having a tough time against Pepperell this year. They are good.
Oh, yeah, they got that senior team.
There's the snap. Quarterback going play action up the middle, connects with his receiver. Nice play there and grab. That was number 17, Logan Sprayberry. They got a first down in the red zone.
Yep. Another underneath route. Grigsby had it covered just if he'd got there just a hair quicker. Great catch. Great play.
2 wide receivers to the far side, a couple on the near. 1st and 10 from the 18 in the red zone are the Blue Devils, trailing in this game 20-7 to your Darlington Tigers. We got 1:49 and the clock ticking here late in the half. Now the Blue Devils shifting some guys around. Got to have a couple of receivers on each side. There's the snap, going to fake the handoff. Quarterback's going to run it towards the near side, stays up, and he is in. Touchdown,
Elusive.
Model Blue Devils from the 18-yard line. Wow.
Walker is elusive. We had a guy there, and he just wanted he broke our ankles.
C.J. Walker, 18-yard run to pay dirt, and now they've got a light show here at Winter Tuckle Stadium. This is the first time I've seen that. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, a little blue lights. Yeah.
That's an impressive touch. I'll give them that for sure.
Yeah, I was waiting on Walker to pull the ball off of that handoff, but we just got to get in there and tackle a little bit better. Hopefully, we'll get that all straightened out at halftime.
Elijah Middleton with the extra point attempt, and it is good. And now we're going to have a 20-14 ball game, 6-point ball game.
Well, in this ball game, neither team has stopped the other team, except for the one fumble.
And then there was one drive that Darlington got a 3-and-out.
So it's been an offensive game. Like I said, they got 2 defensive head coaches, and I don't know, they'd be scratching their head at halftime. But no one's, except for the one time Darlington got 3-and-out on Model. It's ball's been going up and down the field by both teams.
Not a tremendous amount of time to work with if you're the Darlington Tigers. So obviously one of the things you'll probably do if you're the Model Blue Devils, they're going to do everything they can to try to not give up a big return here to the Tigers.
Yes.
Which a lot of teams have done against Darlington. They've tried to kick it away from some of these unbelievably fast guys. Which they got a few of them for sure.
Looks like, is that Jace on the far side and Temple's here? And
and you got Miles at the middle of the field here.
Yeah, if everybody just block somebody.
Pick your poison. Here's a short kick. It's going to drop in. Jace is going to grab it over on the sidelines, and it's going to be about the 27-28 maybe.
Yep, one of those. It was going to go out of bounds, which would have given us the ball to 35. So it's at. So we lost about 7 yards on him catching the ball, but he was trying to stay in bounds, and just the momentum got him.
And so it's going to be at the 27-yard line is where the Tigers are going to start. So they got a good long ways to go here with just 1 minute and 32 seconds left to go in the half. Be interesting to see what they dial up here. Going to have a wide receiver to the near side. And we get ready for Konchesky to take the snaps. Going to throw a quick pass towards Donaldson, trying to get him open in space.
Oh, man, the idea is there. They just got to get him the ball, and I don't know. Donaldson may have lined up a little wide then for that throw, but you're basically saying, I'm going to throw you the ball, and you got to beat one guy to the end zone. I'd come back to that later on.
And, we talked about him coming back from an injury. One of the things about Donaldson, even if he's only 80, 90%, he still can beat a lot of guys at that point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Him out there would just, at most 2 guys. 2 guys trying to tackle him.
This time Trey Moore is going to be split wide to the near side. There's the snap. Quarterback dropping back, looking Moore's way, and it's going to throw a screen. They were trying to get the ball to Bo Powers that time.
A little low.
One of the things we'll do at halftime, too, is talk about some of the big-time college matchups that are coming up tomorrow. There's some big games tomorrow, man. Looking forward to watching Notre Dame and USC and Georgia Tech and Duke and Georgia and Ole Miss. That should be a fun one to watch.
Yep. I like to see us just bust off a long run right here.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe Model's playing pass mode and sitting back on their heels.
Going to have 2 wide receivers to the near side of the slot. You got to watch Miles Twyman here for sure. Konchesky ready to take the snap on 3rd and 10. Rolling out, looking this way. Going to put the ball in the air and overthrows Bo Powers on the play. So incomplete.
We only burned about 20 seconds or so of clock, about 25 seconds, I think, on those 3 plays. Now we get to punt.
And this is the first punt of the game here for the Tigers.
Yes.
So the Tigers will go 3 and out, and they will give the ball back to the Model Blue Devils. Got to be super careful here because obviously we pointed out multiple times we've got a 1-score game. Darlington with the lead 20-14, and Model gets the ball out of the break. And here comes the snap, kick from Moore. That one's going to drop in at about the 48. Rolling. Takes a nice Tiger bounce down to the 42-yard line, so pretty good punt there.
Not bad with no return. Now we got to play defense right here before half, and we got to
absolutely got to have a stop here.
We got to. Yep.
Well, we do want to take this opportunity while we've got a very short break to recognize the crew involved in the broadcast tonight. We're going to start with press box cameras, Jesse Vitello and Afton Taylor. You also have remote camera tonight, Kate Travis, replays Nathan Patterson. Director is Mike Garrett. I'm Matt Davis. Got Gordon Powers, former head coach of the Model Blue Devils, with me tonight, but he's all purple. Grandson plays for the Darlington Tigers. And we're having a good time. I appreciate your time, Coach. It's always great to catch up with you and have the opportunity to get your expertise on the broadcast.
Thank you. I enjoy being here. Keeps me from yelling from the stands. I have to be quiet.
It.
Oh, man.
Does your family appreciate this also? There's the snap. C.J. Walker rolling to the left, and he is going to have to tuck the football and run, which is always a dangerous spot to be in for the defense for sure. And he's able to get about 5 or 6. And they're able to contain him a little bit.
A little better than. I don't like him having the football.
No, he's as dangerous. Brings up 2nd and 6. Going to have 3 wide receivers to the near side here for the Blue Devils. On 2nd and 6, rolling to his right, looking downfield, going to put it in the air, and that is going to be incomplete. Just kind of throws it away there.
Threw it away. He had nobody open, and he was outside. I got to get back on my rules, man. He's outside the hash because there was no receiver there anywhere.
Well, I suffer from a condition that's called CRS, can't remember stuff.
Yeah.
And so I can never keep up with it.
Well, I've watched too much football. It's like the pro rules, the college rules, and then the high school. And, I coach a little 9-man football over at St. Mary's, and we got a couple of rules that are different too.
And y'all are much improved this year from what I can tell, huh?
Much improved.
Awesome. I saw that good coaching you got over there. There's the snap. Dropping back is C.J. Walker looking to throw the football. He's got company in the backfield, a couple Tigers chasing after him, and that's going to be incomplete. Had to throw it out of bounds. Cooper Norris was all in his face.
We got a flag from the umpire. I would say holding.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the area of somebody held. I don't know. I don't really see anybody get held.
About to get the explanation here in a couple of seconds.
If it's on, he's going to take the penalty? Ineligible man downfield, maybe? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And he held on to the ball so long that the lineman just drifted down the field. It should be a loss of down.
So 4th down, and we're going to see the Model Blue Devils punt it away.
Boy, nobody was able to do anything with those 2 drives. That was great defense. It's great coverage.
Indeed.
We've improved our coverage in the 2nd quarter.
Logan Sprayberry on to punt it away here for the Blue Devils. 33.2 seconds left on the clock in the 2nd quarter. Here comes the kick. That one goes right up the chute.
Yep, get away from it. Get away from it.
And it takes a nice Darlington bounce, and now teams are battling after it. I think Ty Wood was able to cover there and recover
what
the
were
ball.
we doing? Oh, I'm sure he's going to get Coach
that was
Groves.
An adventure, wasn't
Coach
it?
Groves is going to have a talk with him. Oh, now since Model did touch the ball first, if the rule hasn't changed, then even if Model would have recovered it, we would have got first touch, what's called first touch, which would have been our ball. But just get away from it. What was that net punt?
I'm not sure, but I know the ball is going to be at the 44-yard line. Tigers are going to have it on model side of the field.
Yep. And what's the bad thing is we're at 23 seconds, but the good thing is short punt. But maybe we can get rolling here.
All right, Koncheski under center, ready to take the snap with everybody in tight. Here's it is. He's going to roll out looking to throw, puts it downfield, and gets a guy open, and he makes the grab. That is Bo Powers. Catches it at about the 10-yard line. What a throw and what a catch. What a play.
Caught him on the old wheel route. Caught him on the wheel route. Wide receiver went in, and Bo ran up the sideline. Some people call that a rail route. It's a wheel. Get the defense to bite inside, and you run some speed down the sideline.
Well, now the Tigers are in business with 16.1 ticks left on the clock, leading it 20-14 after that play. Gets them about 34 yards. They got the ball at the 10-yard line in the red zone with first and 10.
Oh, wow.
Man, those are the balls.
The scoreboard showing one timeout left.
Yep. Quarterback under center. That's Koncheski ready to take the snap. Quick toss, gets it to Bo Powers, scoots through and dives towards the end zone.
Touchdown.
He's in.
Touchdown.
From 10 yards out, Bo Powers, 2 big plays in a row, and the Tigers strike right before halftime. Wow.
Wow.
What a sequence, Coach.
I'm surprised he wasn't gassed after that long pass. Great blocking. Again, the replay's going to show probably Twyman putting somebody on his back again. I may have missed it. We'll get to see the replay here in a minute.
So Powers for 10 yards there for the touchdown after making a big play on the previous play that got him in position. Here is the kick from Desalu, and that one's going to be right down Broadway.
Yep.
And the Tigers are in business here
we
right
go.
before halftime.
Watch 12 again. Boom, there's 12. And more,
got
17 more.
Got a couple of good blocks as he scooted in.
They just got the guys that were responsible for the pitch out there and blocked them.
So a 10-yard pass play to pay dirt, and the Tigers lead at 27-14. You talk about a boost going into the locker room, Coach.
Yeah, who would have dreamt that? Short punt. Well, we started off throwing 3 incomplete passes, giving them a lot of time left, and then our defense rose up and short punt and great field position. Now, how many seconds was it, 23?
23.3 seconds were on the clock when the Tigers took that first snap.
Wow.
And now 9.1 seconds left as they get ready to kick it back to the Model Blue Devils. And the Tigers lead at 27-14. That all happened in a very quick sequence there.
That was very quick.
You know, when Model took possession of the ball, there were only 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock. Darlington forced a 3 and out.
Yep.
So, man.
Let's cover this thing. What do you think? We're going to kick it on the ground or?
Wouldn't be surprised to see a squib here. Let's see. There it is. And they're going to bring it out from about the 27-yard line. Stays up. Hardiker with the football, and he is going to be brought down by a host of Tigers at about the 33-yard line.
They stopped it at 1 second.
Mm-hmm. I know Stuart Grigsby was in on it. I think I also saw Levi Duggan heading over in that direction, helping make the stop there for the Tigers.
I don't know. I know they have officials keeping the clock, but they stopped the clock at 1 second, and then after they stopped it at 1 second, I saw the referee give the stop the clock signal, wave. And so it's like one of those, like if you were doing it, I used to do that in basketball. When they keep the clock in basketball, you got to wait. You got to wait till the whistle. You just can't assume the ball is going out of bounds and stop it.
Well, you just got some high praise from a great source, but I just heard from our buddy Milt Travis, and he is enjoying the insight that you're bringing to the broadcast. I am too, man. It's like going to school, football school.
Oh, man.
Milt, I mean, how long did you coach? Over 40 years?
40, 42. I don't know what I'm on now.
There's the snap, and, of course, that'll run out the clock.
Trick play.
No, trick play. They're going to run it off to the far side, staying up as Hardiker, and they're going to bring it down at midfield.
They're going to get another play.
And the flag comes in.
Face
there
mask.
It is.
That's got to be Brent Bell doing that.
There's no doubt about it.
Fake take a knee, run to the sideline, run like you're running to the locker room.
We knew that Brent was going to bring out the bag of tricks at some point, and he did. And it's going to be a face mask against Darlington, and that'll be the 15-yard variety. And so an opportunity for Model here, perhaps.
He just set the ball on the ground. Hey, yeah. You saw that. That's kind of dangerous, but Walker took the ball and went down on a knee, but he didn't put his knee down. Kind of set the ball on the ground and didn't put his knee down and then just left the ball, and Hardiker picked it up. I said, I'm going to have to remember that one. I'm going to have to remember that play. That might be some good middle school stuff.
Well, there'll be some
there.
video of it that you can review after the game.
Yeah.
A couple of wide receivers to the near side. One is in the slot. Got one on the far side. C.J. Walker ready to take the snap here on 1st and 10 with just one down to work with here. Untimed down, of course.
Yeah.
So this game's had a little bit of everything.
Man, it's got everything going on.
It's been a lot of fun for sure. Right now, Brent Bell, the offensive coordinator for Model, directing guys all over the field, trying to make sure everybody's lined up right and got the right personnel on the field. Now I think they've got it worked out, but a flag came in, so it took a little too long there.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't think the 25-second clock was running.
Right now we got a meetings of the mind right at the end at midfield here, so let's see what they say.
That whole time, the play clock was not running.
Right. He's waving off the flag. All right, well, officials give the signal to go ahead and run the play here. So the Blue Devils at the line of scrimmage going to shift a little more personnel around as Tyler Harrell's going to be out for this package. Ridge Hardiker going to come off the sidelines.
Here comes that back up here, the throwback to the quarterback or the back out of the backfield. C7 up top.
There's the snap. C.J. Walker looking downfield, has got company in the backfield. Now he's going to scoot off to the left side. He's going to throw it towards the end zone. A little bit of a wobbly pass, and it is almost intercepted.
Sweet.
And that is the end of the first half. Wow.
Sweet.
What an adventure the end of that half was.
I'm going to tell you, Matt, this is a blast.
It really is. It's halftime. Darlington leads it at the half, 27-14. We're going to send it back to the studio for a 3-minute timeout. We'll come back. We'll have the halftime show. We're glad you're with us tonight on Darlington Football, whether you're watching the live stream or the radio. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Coosa Steel is a family-owned full-line steel service center located in Rome, Georgia. Since 1972, we've been working to make our customers more efficient by providing steel product supply and processing all in one place. We are proud to provide a large range of products, including hot-rolled and cold-finished steel, stainless steel, galvanized steel, aluminum, and alloys. Our capabilities enable us to assemble and process steel orders within days, shortening your lead time. Coosa Steel. Steel for your project.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
The deadline for 2026-2027 priority application and financial aid is February 15th. Schedule your private campus tour at www.darlingtonschool.org/visit. or by emailing admission@darlingtonschool.org.
Mark your calendar for Alumni Weekend on October 24th through October 26th. For information on hotel blocks and reunions for classes ending in 0 and 5, visit our website at www.darlingtonschool.org/alumni weekend. We hope to see you there.
All right, we're back with you at halftime here at Woodard Tuggle Stadium, and we're being entertained here by the Marching Blue Devils here, the marching band at halftime. Matt Davis and Gordon Powers bringing you the call of tonight's game here on the radio and also the live stream. However you're with us, we're just glad to have you with us. We're also glad to let you know, if you're just tuning in, that the Tigers have a halftime lead, 27-14. And Coach Powers, it was a half that had a ton of action, had a little bit of everything, and a wild finish to the half, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a wild finish to the half. I mean, Model almost came back and scored after getting the ball back. Just field position is a big part of the game. Explosive plays. That's a term that we didn't have back in my day. Explosive plays. You know,
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
3 yards in a cloud of dust. So
cut from the old school.
There's been some explosive plays. Like Miles Twyman, Bodie, Walker, C.J. Walker for Model. You know, it's been a fun game, and not a great, if you want to call it a great defensive game, but you know, I'd rather see scoring than not scoring.
Oh, absolutely, and we certainly saw some good offense here from both teams in the game, and big plays, plenty of excitement there in the first half, which we're going to recap in just a little bit, but I do want to give you some scores from other area games for people that are curious. I'm a curious person when it comes to that sort of stuff. I know you are too, Coach Powers, so we're going to start with the Pepperell Dragons and Haralson County Rebels. Get ready for this one. That is a good Haralson County football team. I thought they were going to present some challenges for Pepperell tonight, and they are. If this score is right, and again, you know, the score stream scores, sometimes you got to take them with a grain of salt because it's user-based. But if this is right, Haralson County's up 35-19 in the second quarter of that football game against Pepperell. And that game's in Lindale.
Yeah, that means they're pounding it to them. You know, that's all, because when we played Haralson, they never threw a pass.
That's exactly right. They didn't, and they are just an extremely big and physical team up front, and they can absolutely punish you in the trenches. So I was wondering what kind of a challenge that might present. And it's been a tough night in Lindale if that is the score. Now, the Cartersville Purple Hurricanes, they're up over Cedartown. You know, Cedartown is a real young team this year. Obviously, you and I both know Coach Tommy Atha pretty well. You coached under him. Of course, I've been calling Darlington games for a while and have gotten to know him over the years. He'll get them on the right track. There's no question about that. He coached a football team. But they're up against a tough one tonight. They're playing Cartersville at Cartersville, down 49-0 at the half. It is Calhoun over Gilmer, the Bobcats. Calhoun's up 21-9 at halftime of that one. Rockmart at half up over a really good Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe team.
Improved.
They're up 21-7 in that game. I think that's a respectable score if you are LFO. And, you know, Rockmart, they have won, I think, 64 straight region games and have the fifth longest streak all time in the state of Georgia of region games won in a row. The leader is Calhoun Yellow Jackets. They won 119 games, consecutive region games in the Hal-Am era. Quick, interesting fact about that streak for Calhoun, the team that beat them before they started that streak, it was the Darlington Tigers in 2001.
Wow.
And they didn't lose again until 2019 when North Murray got
North Murray.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And anyway, you've got Adairsville over Northwest Whitfield Bruins, 20-14 is the score in that one. Heritage over Lafayette, 24-3. Rome up over South Paulding 41-14. That's one of those games where they probably could name the score. It's North Murray over North Cobb Christian 20-14. Got a good one going in that one. Dade County and Coosa, tight one there, 14 apiece.
Wow.
That one was close to halftime at last check. It's Allatoona over Hiram 14-13. And that's pretty much all I've got so far. Well, here's one more that we'll relay to you of interest to this region. Heard County is up over Bremen 14-3 at halftime. That game's at Bremen.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that would be a great game to go watch, Bremen and Heard County.
Well, Coach, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then when we come back, if you don't mind, I'm going to interview you a little bit.
Uh-oh.
And we've already got a listener question that has come in.
As long as I have to tell the truth.
Absolutely. And we'll start with our listener question when we come back. But this is halftime, and it's Darlington football on the live stream and also the radio. Right now, Darlington on top. 27-14 is your score. We're back in 3 minutes.
Coosa Steel is a family-owned full-line steel service center located in Rome, Georgia. Since 1972, we've been working to make our customers more efficient by providing steel product supply and processing all in one place. We are proud to provide a large range of products, including hot-rolled and cold-finished steel, stainless steel, galvanized steel, aluminum, and alloys. Our capabilities enable us to assemble and process steel orders within days, shortening your lead time. Coosa Steel. Steel for your project.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
The deadline for 2026 to 2027 priority application and financial aid is February 15th. Schedule your private campus tour at www.darlingtonschool.org/visit or by emailing admission@darlingtonschool.org.
Mark your calendar for Alumni Weekend on October 24th through October 26th. For information on hotel blocks and reunions for classes ending in 0 and 5, visit our website at www.darlingtonschool.org/alumni weekend. We hope to see you there.
All right, folks, we welcome you back live to Woodard-Tuggle Stadium where we're at halftime. About 10 minutes to go left in the halftime period where your Darlington Tigers lead at 27-14. Just to kind of run down the scoring summary until we jump into our interview with Coach Powers, who's sitting to my left. We will let you know that the Model Blue Devils opened up with possession of the football, Yeah, they took the football to start the first half. So Darlington will get the ball to start the second
Yes.
half. I was saying that wrong the entire first half. I apologize for that. I get so used to teams deferring to the second half.
Right,
I can't get used to it.
Right.
So Model had the ball. Darlington's getting it out of the locker room, and they scored late there in the first half to take a 27-14 lead. So I apologize for that. Kind of whiffed that one. And also I do want to point out that we've been pronouncing Mazo's name incorrectly. I think we said it Mazo a few times in the first half. We've been told it is Mazo, so we apologize for that. We're going to get that right in the second half. But Model scored on the first drive of the game on an 80-yard run on the third play from scrimmage. It was C.J. Walker, their quarterback. He scored with 9 minutes to go there in the first quarter of the football game. Then Darlington would score on the ensuing drive on a touchdown by Mazo to tie the game up with 6:27 left to go. On the second drive of the game for Model, they would fumble. J.B. Ragland would recover the football for Darlington. Their second drive of the game, Coach, would extend into the second quarter of the ball game. Nice long drive there.
Yes.
And it would be capped off with a 25-yard touchdown run by Miles Twyman with 11:52 left to go in the first half of the game to go up 13-7. Model would punt on the ensuing possession after a 3-and-out. Darlington would get the ball, would score again with a run from Nate Konchesky, the quarterback, to go up 20-7 with 3:50 left to go in the half. Then Model would strike back with a score of their own on an 18-yard run by C.J. Walker. That was with 1:32 left to go in the half to trail the game 20-14. So they started climbing back. Darlington would punt the ball. Model would get the ball. I think they got it all the way to the I forget
16.
exactly the 16-yard line before they had to punt the ball, and then the Darlington Tigers would score on the next drive on a 10-yard pass to Bo Powers from Nate Konchesky, and that was after a pass that got them all the way from the 44-yard line, a 34-yard play to the 10-yard line to set that up.
Yes.
So two big plays there from Powers
big.
on that last drive for Darlington, and they lead it 27-14. So that's kind of where we're at, and again, Darlington leads it. Now we're going to jump into our interview, and we're going to start, as I mentioned, with a question that came from one of the folks that's in the audience. I already referenced that Milt Travis is listening, and he wanted to make sure that we asked you about your father as a player and coach, and also reference that your dad is a Hall of Fame player in his hometown up in Kentucky.
Yes,
so,
Frankfort, Kentucky. My dad played high school football in Frankfort, Kentucky, and went from there to the University of Kentucky, and his coach at University of Kentucky was Bear Bryant.
Wow.
He played with Bear Bryant, George Blanda, just a whole bunch of names that if you're a football junkie, you would understand it. And then my dad left there and went into high school coaching. And then he finished out his coaching career back with Bear Bryant, coaching for Bear Bryant at Alabama.
Now, tell us your story about the time that you spent around Bear Bryant. You've told me this before, but it definitely had an impact on you as a young person, huh?
Yeah, a big impact. The only thing I regret is I was scared of Coach Bryant because when the Bear would come out, he started that thing, was in a tower, and he would come down out of that tower and he'd grab somebody by a face mask, and he's giving them the 1-2 out of the about the players. And, my middle name is Bryant because of Bear Bryant.
And you have a son named Bryant who's one of the coaches here for Darlington.
And Bodie's name is Bodie Bryant Powers. So we keep that name going. My dad was thought so much of Coach Bryant and how he helped him in his life that, he gave me the middle name. But I was just always scared of Coach Bryant because I saw him on the practice field. So I got to ride the bus and drop me off. Kenny Stabler was playing.
Wow.
Okay. Ray Perkins lived up the street from me. He was married when he played there. Anyway, so I was just scared because he was so mean on the field, and he would Coach Bryant or Bear Bryant would try to talk to me off the field, like in the coaches' offices and stuff, and I wouldn't have nothing to do with it. No, I had to get to my dad's office. I had to go by Coach Bryant's door. And I'd get right to the door, and I would, sprint for 5 steps just to get by. And he'd holler out, "Where you going, Gordon Bryant?" And I wouldn't even answer. I'd just go on down. And I do remember this. He every once in a while, he'd call me in, and, he would give me a bag of Golden Flake potato chips, which was the big sponsor for Alabama, and he gave me a Coke. and I'm sitting there just trying to drink and eat this as fast as I can because I figure if I get done, I'm going to get out of here. But, you know, just give me about 5 or 6 more years older than that, and he probably would have had to run me off.
Man, that is awesome. And so I would imagine that from the way that you grew up, obviously football is a lifestyle for the Powers family. I know, of course, your son Bryant played in high school, has been coaching for a long time. Your son Steven, he played at Georgia Tech, played here at Model. And, you know, your whole family is involved.
I coached all 3 of my kids in high school.
And you have another son that I didn't reference too, right?
Aaron. He's the runt of the family. And
I didn't get to know him. I've gotten to know Bryant and Steven, but
he went to Georgia Tech but didn't play football. He graduated from Tech, but he's so I had 3 boys, and then we decided let's try to have a girl, and we ended up having 2 girls, not twins, but 2. You know, they're 2 years apart. So, and my girls are all into football. My youngest girl, Emily, is the assistant athletic director at Cardinal Gibbons High School in Raleigh. They are like the Buford of North Carolina. You know, they're low. So she's in the middle of all that sports, and she coached macro and tumbling before that. And then Angela actually did some writing for the Rome News Tribune before everything went online and all that. And you had to actually, you know, buy the newspaper.
Well, I will say this, Coach. It's always a talking point for me when any team, you know, in college football is playing against Austin Peay, and I'll say, and a local legend, Gordon Powers, was once a part of Austin Peay and the Governors back in the 70s, and they won a conference championship, because I know that is definitely a point of pride for you, man.
Yes.
It should be.
And we won a conference championship in 76. It was the first ever. And then they actually won the conference, I'm going to say, 4 years ago. And so that was the second team to win the conference. Just had a great time. And in 2 weeks, I'm going up there for homecoming. And there's a guy named Mike Betts that I was a backup to. He was an All-American, little All-American safety. And they're putting his name on the stadium. You know, they recognize like the Ring of Honor type thing. And you know, I'm going up there, and he's the reason. I tell people he's the reason I didn't get to play for 2 years, because he was so good. I was his backup, and he never got hurt neither. So it's
Well, what made you decide that, you know, obviously the influences that you had as a kid and just being around football and loving it, but what point of your life did you realize that you were going to dedicate your life to being a coach? Because we talked about this earlier. You coached for over 40 years, and you're still coaching over at St. Mary's. You just have to be out there doing that.
I do. It's in the blood. I don't grind as much as I used to, you know. So the St. Mary's thing is pretty good, and we started that team over there last year, and I just enjoy football, and Steven's helping me coach over there at St.
And
Mary's.
And Dean Ratledge helping you there too?
Dean's the defensive coordinator. I'm an offensive coordinator, and Steven does whatever we tell him to do. So,
and does a great job at it for sure.
Yes,
no doubt about that. Always enjoy being around him. And of course, one of the things I do want to mention, since we just mentioned Dean Ratledge's name, his son Tate is going to be recognized at the home game coming up next week. They're going to be retiring his jersey. And, of course, Tate played, you know, for 4 years at Darlington, did a tremendous job. One of the questions I get as a broadcaster, particularly from young people, when they realize you've been doing it for a while, they always want to ask, who's the best player that you've ever had the opportunity to call a game that they were involved in? And Tate Ratledge is going to be top of mind every time.
For a lineman, too. You know, usually people pick a back or, a quarterback or running back. Tate Ratledge was just, I coached 1 year. I coached his senior year, and just watched him in practice. Oh my gosh!
He could take over a game. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, and he just watching the way he did things, and he got a couple of penalties for unnecessary roughness. But they really weren't anything different. The way he did it.
He was just so big and
so
physical,
yeah.
And really just the way he went about his business is a very coachable kid. Well, all the coaches will talk about him.
Yeah.
Super smart, and man, look at how he's progressed already as a starter at the NFL level in his rookie season. That says a lot.
He had great feet and all that, and he was the punter for Darlington. He could boom it, and just very athletic, good basketball player. So
no question.
I'm hanging out with his dad quite a bit, we get to talking a lot about the Lions and the NFL, so it's pretty cool.
I'll probably talk about this again on the broadcast next week, but, one of the things that was pretty fun, I think it would have been Tate's senior year, Darlington had a spring game that was over at Dalton. And before that day,
I was coaching.
Yeah, you were a part of the coaching staff of that game, and we didn't broadcast that game.
I know what you're getting ready to say.
Went up there with Steve Conrad, and I'd never heard this name before, but I've never forgotten it since. Jameer Gibbs.
Yes.
And, of course, Tate was on the field, Jameer was on the field, and now they're teammates for the Detroit Lions. Who could have ever have predicted that was going to be the case?
I know.
You could have predicted they both be in the NFL, but being teammates, we wouldn't have thought about that that night.
And after that game, Coach Atha, Gibbs went up and down the field, but it was a scrimmage game, and our defense didn't play very well. And I remember Coach Atha saying, "Good night. Is our defense that bad?" And we just didn't know at the time because Gibbs was young.
And I think it was the next day, if I remember this correctly, that it was announced that he was going to go play for Georgia Tech. And he played for him for, I think, one season, then went to Alabama, which was obviously a good move on his part, the way things were going at Tech during that period of time. It would have been, I hate to say this because I'm a Tech fan, but it would have been a waste to have his talent at Tech, the way things were going. And so he went to Alabama, and now he's playing, and those guys are
teammates. I think that's great. I think that's great. I saw, I think Gibbs scored a touchdown last week, and then Tate came over and kind of, had a lineman pick the guys up. Kind of picked him up in the air and set him back down.
Well, that's going to be some kind of presentation coming up next week. So you want to make sure where you are is going to be at Chris Hunter Stadium coming up next week. Well, it looks like we're down to the mandatory warm-up period, and they've been out there for a little while. They never started the clock, so I'm not sure how long we have left until they start the second half. Now they've started it, so we may have a couple of minutes here to take a quick break. But nonetheless, you are listening to Darlington Tigers football on WLAQ. And I do apologize again because I kept saying that Model had deferred, and I don't know where I got that in my head, but they did not. They took the ball. So Darlington, with a 27-14 lead, is going to have the ball out of the locker room, which is awesome. They're going to see if they can put together some offense there, set the tone that way, and try to create a little bit more separation.
I heard you say that, and I was like,
correct me.
I wasn't sure myself, 100% sure.
Well, I wrote it down, but I think I've had a weird week, Coach. I've been kind of absent-minded. Let me give you an example of that. I do the invoicing and stuff at the radio station, pay the bills now, and I went to the post office. I had some bills to pay, and I put them in the envelopes. I went to the post office. I put them in the little drawer there, closed the door, and then I realized I didn't put stamps on them. And then I had another instance this week where I had taken some things home from a package at home, and I went and got some groceries at the grocery store. I took the groceries in, started taking care of the dogs, and forgot the other stuff in my car and left my trunk open for about 3 or 4 hours until my wife got home. So it's been one of those kind of weeks. So just bear with me, folks.
I have those weeks every week.
And be glad that Gordon Powers is up here to save the day here tonight on the broadcast.
I have those every week, those days.
Oh, man. It has been a week, but we are glad to be with you tonight here for Darlington Tigers football, and we're having a good time. And right now, the Tigers are having a good time, up 27-14. That's got to feel really good right now for the Tigers.
It's really good. We need a good drive here to start off, but Model has come down the field, right before half, those few seconds they had, and then got down there and fumbled in the red zone. So this game is not over. It's a lot of exciting offense, a lot of guys on offense that can make things happen.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of action throughout the course of this game. There's no question about it. A lot of football to play. But right now, Model ready to kick it to the Darlington Tigers, and to handle the kickoff duties is going to be Elijah Middleton. And he makes his trot to the ball, and this is going to be a squib and will be fielded. He just drops on it right at the 38-yard line. That was a good deal there for the Darlington Tigers to just fall on the ball like that.
Yeah, that was Rawton that fell on the ball.
Mitchell Rawton, the freshman, getting some more playing time for the Tigers here late in the season and doing a great job.
Oh, yeah. We had a lot of injuries earlier in the year. The Tigers had to play a lot of young kids, and that's going to pay off down the road because they had to get in against some good teams.
So the Tigers are going to line up at the 38-yard line. Good field position for the Tigers once again, and always a factor in the game for sure. Wide receiver to the near side. Quarterback under center, takes the snap, fakes the handoff. There's the option pitch, gets it to Miles Twyman, stays up, stiff arms at the end of the play, and gets close to the 50.
Another hurdle.
And he hurdled the bench on Model's side of the field. What an athlete.
Wow.
Man.
I thought maybe if he'd have cut underneath this blocker, he had a lot maybe possible touchdown. He's so used to having speed, though. He's going, I'm going to bounce it because I can run.
And in addition to being a great athlete, it's also
we got one down.
Inspiring to watch the work ethic and toughness that he has shown throughout the season. Got injured in the first game, and he has really had to work his rear end off to battle his way back, and he's starting to look close to 100% now. It's great to see. But you're right, we do have a Tiger down at about the 40 being looked at by Donnie Brown, the trainer. Also, Coach Groves is out there with him as well.
Yep, that's
doesn't look like a cramp, does it?
I wish it was. That's Bryson Jones is down, I believe, because I don't see a 55 standing up, and then I see our second string center, 52, Evan Parton taking snaps on the sideline. So I'm putting 2 and 2 together. Parton's over doing practice snaps, and I don't see 55. That must be him on the ground.
It very well may be.
Bryson. That's a two-way starter. There we go. Now
he's getting a round of applause as he gets up there from the student section on the opposite side of the field where the Tigers fans are. And let's see if he can move around a little bit. He's a little bit gimpy on that right leg. But he's moving a little better than I thought he was going to.
Yeah, maybe Donnie Brown throw some tape on that,
exactly.
on that ankle, and let's go.
Do that Mr. Miyagi thing where he rubs his hands together.
Yeah. If somebody can get him back in the game, Donnie Brown can, the athletic trainer.
Little Karate Kid 80s reference there. If you're down with that.
Yep, I remember that.
All right. So the Tigers will come back to the line of scrimmage. Certainly hope we'll see that young man back out on the field here for the Tigers later in the game.
Two-way starter.
Got to have him. Wide receiver on the far side. This brings up 1st and 10 from the 48. There's the snap. Going to hand it off and go up the middle. They fake the pitch. Try to sell that run. He picked up 2 or 3 yards. It's Mazo.
Picked up 4. Get enough 4-yard gains and you're in an end zone.
Absolutely. Stay ahead of the chains is the name of the game in this offense for sure, or any offense for that matter, but definitely have to stay on schedule. That's going to bring up 2nd and 7. 11:20 left here in the third quarter. Darlington Tigers lead at 27-14 with the ball just on the Blue Devils side of the field. Everybody's going to be in tight for the formation. Out of that base flex bone. Here's the snap. They looked at the pitch to Bo, went the other way with the trap play, and he is going to be brought down after a short gain of about 2 yards, Miles Twyman.
Trying to keep the defense honest.
Stop by Ridge Hardiker.
They did a good job staying at Model did a good job staying at home.
And so the Tigers come back to line of scrimmage with a 3rd down and 5 here.
We might be in 2-down territory. I don't know.
Very well may be. Everybody in tight. Konchesky under center. He's taking every snap this game for the Tigers. There's a quick toss. Going to get it to Bo Power. See if he can get one of those big plays. He stays up, spins around. He's going to be a little bit short, but I'm with you, Coach. I think they'll go for it here.
Yeah, especially moving it up to, was it 3 yards?
Mm-hmm.
I guess he got tripped up right there. I'm going to tell you what, Twyman is planting people out there. Twyman put number 3 on his back.
Trying to squeeze the most out of the remainder of this senior season. Konchesky under center on 4th and 2, ready to take the snap. He turns, gives it right to Mazo, stays up, and I think he's very close here. He should have it.
It's a first down.
Yeah, he got it.
Attaway, Mazo. There you go.
Yep. So Mazo gets what they needed for the first down. It's down at the 41-yard line.
That's going to like starting off to be one of those Paul Johnson drives at Tech where they took 4 downs and got a first down.
Love it.
Running the clock.
Those were some great days. I went to a lot of those games during that period. I know you did too, with the Sun playing there. Konchesky under center, dropping back, looking to throw, fires it to the near side, connects with his receiver. That's going to be Trey Moore, and he is going to make the grab at the 36-yard line.
Yeah, trying to keep him honest. That's probably the 5th time on first down that we've thrown the ball. Trey Moore.
Got it to the 38, so that'll be a 3-yard pickup,
Yep.
brings up 2nd and 7.
Yep. I think they're trying to pick on Zach Nichols over here. Number 3, he was St. Mary's kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think trying to pick on him a little bit because he's not really that big.
There's the snap. Quarterback is going to run the football after faking to the B-back on the play, and he stays up inside the 35 to about the 34.
Well, here we go again. 2 down territory.
Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game coming up after tonight's action. We still got a long way to go, so it is not decided just yet. A lot of players in the mix here tonight. Of course, Mazo's had a great game.
Oh, he's pounding it.
Miles Twyman's had a great game. Nate Konchesky, Bo Powers. A lot of guys contributing on defense tonight as well. And so Konchesky under center here for 3rd down and 3 with under 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. There's the snap, rolling out, looking to pass, goes play action, puts it in the air, connects with an open man, and that's a first down.
I think it's Mazo.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was Mazo. Good eye.
They faked the rocket sweep and bootlegged out the opposite way. He was covered at the beginning and modeled, and then the threat of Konchesky running made him come off of him.
Got down to the 30-yard line, so a fresh set of downs here for the Tigers. 1st and 10 from the model 30.
There you go.
And the Tigers lead at 27-14, looking to create a little cushion here on this drive. Going to have Moore split wide to the near side. And Konchesky will take the snap, turns, there's the pitch. They're going to get it to Miles Twyman, who's streaking towards the corner of the end zone. He's
Touchdown.
in. 30-yard touchdown, Miles Twyman. And, Coach, that is his 2nd of the game.
It is. It is. He hit a seam. I'm going to tell you what, our blocking on the perimeter is outstanding. When you see the replay, you've got these guys. You got, I don't know if Bodie Powers and Moore, Trey Moore out there. They're putting pads on pads in open field.
Desalu on for the extra point attempt here. And here comes the snap. The kick is through. And, you know, he's been perfect tonight except for the one where they had the penalty and backed him up because of a holding call.
Here we go. Let's see the blocking on here.
Make sure we give the credit where it's due.
There's a block, 17.
Yep.
Bodie here, yeah.
Yep.
You know, all you got to do is just get in their way really good out there when you got Miles Twyman running the ball.
And he is looking in top form tonight, isn't he,
Yes,
Coach?
he is.
So with 7:13 left to go here in the third quarter, Darlington strikes again, and all of a sudden they've got a 20-point lead here. And it really feels like, you know, all the momentum right now is on the Darlington Tigers side of things. And they will hope to keep it that way on the defensive side of the ball here.
Oh yeah, we have to see what model comes out with. I don't know if that score changes what they try to do on offense. I don't know. Well, we had the ball. What is that? 12-5, almost 5 minutes, almost 13 seconds short of having it 5 minutes.
And that's exactly, you know, what you're after. And here comes the kick from Desalu. And it is on the way. Will be brought out here for the Model Blue Devils. They will stay up, try to go up the middle of the field. Edwards with the football. He's across to the 40-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. That was a great effort there by Edwards.
It was. He almost sucked us in the middle and broke it back out. That's a good return, good field position for Model.
And so Model trying to answer back here. I mean, their backs are up against the wall, but we still have a lot of football to play. So the ball's at the 42-yard line. That's where Model is going to open up. As Coach Power said, it's going to be great field position here for the Blue Devils.
So we get some good. Hope we get some good tackling.
Running back's going to be Jaden Edwards. He brings the play call in from the sidelines to his quarterback, C.J. Walker. And they will go to the line of scrimmage with 3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 on the near. The near side receiver's Bryson Bell.
Yeah, I almost didn't see him blending in over there.
So here's the snap. Walker going to hand it off. They run the jet sweep to the near side. Edwards has got the ball. He's across the 40 on the other side. So that was about a 20-yard run, Coach.
It was. Our defense has to come over top of that. We're trying to go underneath it. You can see it right here. We're trying to go underneath those blocks. We've got to come outside on those blocks.
So Edwards with another big play there for Model. They go back to the line of scrimmage, going to run some tempo here. Here's the snap to Walker. He's going to follow a block by Edwards, and he is going to scoot out of bounds. I don't think there was much there.
Minus a yard. Tried to run the quarterback sweep into the boundary.
And as you mentioned, lost a yard, so that backs him up to the 40-yard line. And so Model has got 2nd and 11 from the Darlington 40-yard line after they started the drive on a big play, 20-yard run there from Edwards.
That's twice that Edwards has got great yards on the jet sweep. I'd come back and run it again.
2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near as Walker gets ready to
Here
take
it comes.
the snap. Yep, there it is. They're going to run
Walker's
it.
going to keep it.
Quarterback runs it up the middle. Very deceptive play there, and he gets a first down.
Yep.
That was a good call.
Yeah, that's a quarterback read play where he's reading our defensive end, and our defensive end came up and hit. Our defensive end came up and hit Jaden Edwards right after the fake, and so I think that's a choice by C.J. Walker whether to hand it off or keep it. Yep, we come upfield, he's going to take off underneath. They probably pull the backside guard, what most teams do.
Very effective play, and that gets them to the 29-yard line and a fresh set of downs. 2 wide receivers on each side. Edwards in the backfield with Walker. He turns, hands it off to Edwards, stutter steps, and gets down to about the 25 before they bring him down. So that's probably a 4-yard pickup when everything shakes out.
Yep. Also look for C.J. Walker pulling that ball and keeping it out the backside on that zone read.
Brings up 2nd down and 6 here for the Blue Devils. 5:41 and the clock ticking here in the third quarter of football.
See, Hardiker's in the game at running back, and that tells me he's not really their feature running back. That tells me C.J. Walker may be keeping this ball.
They're going to line up in a pistol. Here's the snap. C.J. Walker is going to go play action, looking to throws it to Hardiker, and he gets pounded, and a flag comes in here late.
Oh, roughing the passer probably. And we got another flag from somebody.
Defensive play was made there by Jace Donaldson, who came in and just pile drive Hardiker.
I think Braylon Langston may have got called for roughing the passer, and then I'm not sure, but somebody has to keep their mouth shut. I can't even guess. I couldn't tell. But evidently roughing the passer. There you go. And then unsportsmanlike conduct.
Ooh, that hurts.
I think we disagreed with the roughing the passer, and we let the referee know it.
I got you.
And they forgot who's in charge.
And that can cost you, for sure.
Yes, that's just not being very disciplined.
And so the official will mark off the penalty yards there after the roughing the passer and the personal foul. Oh, okay, I see. All right.
So I imagine Coach Groves will
have a conversation.
Have a conversation on the sideline.
Teachable moment.
Teachable moment. There you go.
Yep. And so this ball is going to be
good
down at the 6-yard line. Ooh, man.
The ball was on the 25, 26. Wow. Well, let's bow up down here.
Yep. All right, so the Darlington Tigers will try to hold strong here, getting close to the goal line, as you're going to have a model team breathing fire with first down and goal from the 6 after the penalties. And so they will take their time back to the line of scrimmage here, trying to climb back into this game. Right now, Darlington's got a 20-point, 34-14 lead. C.J. Walker ready to take the snap. He's got the ball. He's going to run it out to the left side. Tries to get a block, cuts up inside, and he is going to be brought down. Forward progress should be stopped at about the 4-yard line.
Yeah, 4 or 5. We did a good job then coming up outside. Didn't let him bounce out to the corner. Make him run the ball back into all the white jerseys.
And so the ball will be at the 5-yard line after the run there from the quarterback.
Yeah.
Bring up 2nd and goal from the 5 after a 2-yard pickup. As Hardiker comes back over to the sidelines after the play. Now,
I think it was.
Looks like Zach Nichols is running out of the field for this package. He'll be one of the wide receivers on the far side.
Right.
All right, so the Blue Devils back to the line of scrimmage. Edwards is in the backfield with the quarterback Walker. This is 2nd and goal from the 5. Man motions to the right side. They're leaning that way. The defense gets in the backfield. Ball is loose. Picked up by the Tigers, and running with it is going to be Evan Parton, who recovered. We'll check on the hit here in a second, but Parton recovers the fumble, and the Tigers have got the ball. Wow. J.B. Ragland, I believe, hit him.
Let's see right here. That was 2.
Yep. So Ragland.
J.B. Ragland, a freshman. Is he a freshman?
J.B. is a freshman. That is right.
Freshmen are coming to play tonight.
So Ragland knocked it loose. Parton recovers, and that's the 2nd turnover there for Model in the game, if I remember correctly.
Whoever got that unsportsmanlike penalty, they need to buy him a cheeseburger. Ragland a cheeseburger for bailing him out.
So Darlington gets the ball with 4:08 remaining in the 3rd quarter. They are going to start at their own 35-yard line. So the Tigers with the ball. They take the snap, going to run the pitch, get it to Bo Powers. He's in space across the 50. Here he goes. Inside the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Gone. Darlington Tigers strike again. A 65-yard run to pay dirt for Bo Powers.
Wow.
I think he wants some cupcakes maybe.
He might get more than that tonight.
Man.
That was, again, great blocking. He got the pitch and nobody was there. I don't know if we blocked the pitch man or whoever defender had the pitch went the wrong way.
65 yards to pay dirt for Bo Powers. And I tell you, we hadn't had a player that has won the award 2 times this year, but he may get it tonight. We'll see what happens. Still got a lot of ball left.
Yeah, if he does, he needs to give them cupcakes to them guys blocking. Oh, here we go.
A little bit of an adventure there on the snap.
Come on, guys.
So no good. So the score is 40-14 in favor of the Tigers.
Here we go. Nobody had the pitch man. The corner and outside linebacker for Model sucked in on the quarterback. I'm gonna give that credit to Konchesky because he looked like he was going to turn up, and as soon as he turned up a step, they sucked in and he pitched it out.
And that's the second touchdown for Bo Powers in the game.
If you're not disciplined against the triple option, you're going to struggle. And what happens is when the team gets behind, too, guys want to make stuff happen. Back when I coached and we would get behind, we just have to preach to guys, do your job. They get behind and they try to create something in somebody else's assignment, and then, boom, there it went.
And that's one of the things that they always give you as a talking point when they talk about how to defend that option. Like you say, assignment football is a term you hear a lot for sure.
And one of our big keys is we've been able to run the dive with success.
Oh, yeah. Mezo's done a tremendous job tonight, and he's had a good push up front. There is a long kick going to be brought out from the 5-yard line, cuts towards the near side. That's Edwards. That kid can run, man.
Yeah, he's tough.
He gets to the 25-yard line. Strong kid.
Well,
all right, 3:47 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Darlington looking to take control of this football game.
Yes. And, both teams haven't won. Both teams don't have a winning record at this point. And, you just have to see how the teams react when they're down. We've had to deal with that the last couple of games.
And, with Darlington in their situation to pick up a win here tonight, if they can hang on, and they're in progress of that, it looks like at this point in time, you got your last 2 games, even though they're tough matchups, you get them at home, go into those games with some momentum, a little bit of renewed confidence, and see what happens. So this could be a big step forward for Darlington this year. Here's the snap, going to run a sweep here to the near side, and with the football running out of bounds, it's going to be Rance Cunningham, a name we hadn't called much
That's the first
tonight.
time he's ran the ball.
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise.
That I know of.
Yeah. I don't believe we've called his name.
I know that listening to some of the model broadcasts over the last few games, I've heard his name quite often.
Yeah.
That jet sweep's their play right now. I'd run it, and then they're going to keep it off of it. C.J. Walker. We got to be disciplined here. It'd be nice to have a 3 and out.
Got trips to the far side. This is 2nd down and 4. There's the snap. Walker looking to throw. He's got some company in the backfield. He is able to elude a couple of guys, puts the ball in the air, and that is going to sail out of bounds. Just threw that one away.
Yep. I thought we should have got a crackback blocked in. It was crackback style, but not delivered. We were watching here. We get crackback here. Here we go. Harder. There you go, right there. Boom. That is a crackback block.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the referee said, well, it wasn't that hard. It didn't knock him down. Maybe we should have teach our kids how to act.
So this is 3rd down and 4 here for the Blue Devils.
Down. Big down.
You're right. Exactly right. So Darlington will try to pin those ears back on defense, see if they can get a stop here. That would go a long way for sure. There's the snap. Walker dropping back, going to throw a screen pass to the near side, and Hardiker just real frustrated because, like you said, just couldn't hang on to the ball.
He had the first down. Definitely had the first down. We sent an outside blitz from that side, and it was a great read by Walker to flip it out there where the blitz came from.
And it was one of those situations you could tell he was starting to kind of turn to run before he brought the ball in and secured it and just never controlled the ball. So,
yeah. Now this is fake punt territory. Well, they're back in their territory, but being the type of game it is.
Yeah, they might need to try to steal a possession at some point, down 40-14. Here comes the kick, though. They kick it away, and that's a pretty booming kick brought in by Donaldson, who will signal the fair catch.
We'll get the ball fairly decent, 35. Of course, it didn't take but, one play or 2 plays last time? One play.
65-yard runs.
So much for running the clock, right?
Exactly.
But I tell you what, the triple option is working tonight. Like you said, once one aspect of it starts working, it opens up all the rest of it.
Absolutely. And, Darlington's had an interesting situation in terms of personnel because of the injuries, and we've seen a lot of different guys. Obviously, Miles Twyman, Matias Selle, he's injured tonight.
We got a different quarterback in.
Oh yeah, who we got? Duggan
Levi's
into the game for the first time here.
Didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, you're good, man. Duggan ready to take the snap, and he will hand the ball off. It's on the turf, and let's see if Darlington was able to cover. Model Blue Devils are pointing in the opposite direction like they think they have it, and I believe they do. Man, fumble. And the recovery was made by 15, Amos Rogers. Man, that's tough right there.
That is tough. Give it right back.
That's the first turnover for Darlington,
yes,
isn't it?
It is. Yeah. It is.
So this is one of those situations that might provide a little bit of spark here late in the third quarter here for Model. Got to be careful here.
Yep. Levi's done a pretty good job for us this year, and I don't know if he just I don't. It's not to say what happened, but sometimes it happens at the mesh point in option. That's the Achilles heel sometimes.
Shotgun formation here for Walker. He's got Hardiker in the backfield with him. Going to hand it off to him. It's a reverse. Going to throw a pass as well and connects with Walker, the quarterback. So the bag of tricks is open, and it yields results. Gets them to the 10.
What's crazy is we had that covered. Mm-hmm. Jace Donaldson had it covered, and I'm going to tell you who threw the pass. 4.
Yeah, it was number 4, and that is Jackson West.
Jackson West. He made a perfect throw.
Which Jackson West is one of the quarterbacks on this team, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yep. I thought when they saw the reverse, I looked and watched Walker going down the sideline. I said, "Oh, Jace has got him," but he just got a step with a great throw.
That gets him into the red zone at the 10-yard line. There's the snap, going to run it to Hardiker, and he is into the end zone, leaping across the goal line untouched. And the light show starts here at Model High School.
There we go.
That's impressive, man.
That is cool.
It really is. A lot of teams are starting to have that nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what all goes into that. I bet that's an expensive addition, wouldn't you think?
Yes. I think a lot of schools have that now, and
it doesn't look like it'd be cheap to do to me.
no.
So we get ready for Middleton to try to tack on the extra point here. And here is the kick, and it is through. And just like that, you've got a 40-20 game. That looks a lot different on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it does.
After a quick score like that.
And that was way too quick.
We're getting a delivery of some liquid hydration there from a great basketball coach, Jacob Travis.
Jacob Travis.
And a great human being
yes.
as well.
I enjoy coaching with him. When I was head football coach, he's head basketball coach. We had a lot of respect for each other.
All right, so we got a 40-21 game in favor of the Darlington Tigers after the Hardiker run, therefore touchdown. And the Darlington Tigers will get the ball back and see if they can put together a nice long drive here, Coach, come up with some more points and eat as much of this clock as possible.
Yep.
Not leave an opening here for this model team that really can score on some big plays.
Looks an awful lot like an onside kick fixing to happen. That ball turned to our sideline.
It definitely looks a little different. And he will trot the ball. It is going to be a short kick, and it drops in at about the 35. Young man trying to make a play there, dives forward.
That was a nice kid. That thing backed up. Wish my golf shot would do that.
I gave up on golf, man. The more I played, the worse I got. I had a little beginner's luck a few years ago, and then I was like, all right, I kind of like this. And then the harder I tried at it, the more pressure it turned out to be, and I just got terrible. I was like, nah, I'm not going to do this. I got enough stress in my real life. I don't need to add to it. Golf's a tough game, man. It really is.
It is. It's a humbler. Yeah, see Stephen Powers try to play golf. As athletic as he was in football, it humbles him.
That's funny. I want to see it now. Does he swing the golf club like Charles Barkley?
He didn't have a hitch, but he swings it. He swings it like the ball did something to him. You know, like that ball treated him bad.
That's funny.
I
used to play golf with my dad, and he was proud because he could hit it straight. I'm like, Dad, you're hitting it 10 yards.
Yeah.
You better be hitting it straight. No, I'm just kidding. We used
He's
to
better
have a time
now.
out there. Nah, it was. We just used to give each other a hard time. There's the snap. Handoff is going to go to Mazo up the middle. What a hard run.
Got Konchesky back in at quarterback.
Man.
I guess they don't want to take a chance. I understand that.
I tell you what, Mazo is making the most of his opportunity tonight, isn't he?
He is, isn't he? Not taking anything away from Mazo, but I'm going to tell you, Miles Twyman popped in there at fullback. I'd like to see him pop in there like one play and see what happens.
Absolutely. 2nd down and 4 here for the Tigers. Got the ball at the 43. There's the snap, and they're going to run it up the middle, carrying the pile.
Oh, man.
Another first down.
Taking them to the woodshed there. Great surge by the line.
Was that Mazo again?
Yep,
it was.
That's a great surge. Model's linebackers couldn't scrape over to make the tackle because their line was getting driven back into their lap.
1:25 left to go in the third quarter. 40-21. Darlington leads it. And so the Tigers come back to the line of scrimmage here. Going to be everybody in tight. There's the snap. Going to be a quick toss. Get it to Miles Twyman. Stiff arm at the end of the play. Gets to 40.
Good job. We're packing it in. We got double tight end, double slot, double wing backs. Just packing it in and trying to play a little physical football. kind of prove we're stronger and in better shape.
45 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
Just got to run one more play, I would think.
Take it to the fourth quarter again. Darlington love to have a nice long drive here and bleed out as much clock as possible. Wide receiver to the near side. Of course, if something opens up, you're going to take it for sure.
Yeah.
Koncheski under center taking the snap. He turns, hands it off to Mazo, finds a little bit of a seam there. Actually, I think quarterback kept it that time.
He's still going.
And he's still got the ball. I don't think he got the first down. I think he was short about a yard.
We got a flag in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what I'm going to predict.
A hold.
That or a chop block.
And
that was kind of in that area of the center.
And, you know, we haven't seen a lot of chop block calls this year, have we?
I know. We had a lot last year. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
they called it chop block.
Yeah. You called it.
Yep.
Leave it to the coach with over 40 years of experience.
I just know that we haven't had one in a while, and he threw the flag right at where the center and guard was. For those that don't know what a chop block is, it's when one player hits a guy high, and at the same time another player goes down low. It's you can call it a double team, but it can't be one high and one low.
Got you.
And it's a safety thing because it doesn't feel good.
No. That brings up 2nd and 20.
Good
15
night.
seconds on the clock. That's a big penalty right there.
We're just going to let it run out.
Oh, yeah.
I would think.
Tigers are going to take this to the fourth quarter for sure with a 40-21 lead. So, with that said, again, that's the end of the third quarter of the football game. It comes down to the final 12 minutes after a break. But right now, Darlington leads it going into the final quarter with the football, 40-21. We're back in 1 minute.
Coosa Steel is a family-owned full-line steel service center located in Rome, Georgia. Since 1972, we've been working to make our customers more efficient by providing steel product supply and processing all in one place. We are proud to provide a large range of products, including hot-rolled and cold-finished steel, stainless steel, galvanized steel, aluminum, and alloys. Our capabilities enable us to assemble and process steel orders within days, shortening your lead time. Coosa Steel. Steel for your project.
We welcome you back live here to Model High School, Woodard Tuggle Stadium. We're down to the fourth quarter here. We've got the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show coming up after a brief post game here live, and hopefully going to see a Tigers win here tonight. They're well on their way, but still 12 minutes left to go. Anything can happen.
That is. I got distracted watching chain crew over there. They couldn't get the chain set for, 2nd and 20?
Mm-hmm. From the Darlington 44. As they get ready to go here after the big penalty on the chop block call that we got the explanation for from Coach Powers just a moment ago. But going to be in that base formation, everybody in tight. Koncheski rolling out, going to throw a pass up the middle, connects with his man and carries the ball all the way down to the 42-yard line. So they got the penalty yards back.
Mitchell
and then
Rotten.
some. Yeah, Mitchell doing a great job.
The freshman. I know he was at Model last year, and I know that makes him happy to catch a pass and get a first down against probably some of his old friends.
Oh, absolutely. 3rd down and 7 coming up here for the Tigers after a big play. Pass over to Mitchell Rotten, as you pointed out, and now the Tigers will get ready to go back to the line of scrimmage. Going to have more on the far side of the formation, but everybody's in tight here for this play as they get ready for this 3rd and 6. And Koncheski takes the snap, turns, is going to hand it off, runs it with Bo Powers. He got close. I think he probably got the first down there. We'll see.
Oh, it's
might be a little
close.
short, but
it's a first.
Yeah. Kind of felt.
I don't know about
he
you.
earned
I
it.
don't know about you, but that seems like the officials will start giving first downs pretty when it's close.
Maybe so.
I don't know when the last time I've seen a measurement.
Well, with that run, it looks like Bo Powers, because we got some stats over here from the model crew, Dan Bevels and Jeff Gable. They're a little bit more involved in keeping stats than me. I can't do it and talk at the same time. That's impressive. But Bo's got over 150 yards in the game and a couple of touchdowns. It's a big game for him for sure. Going to have a wide receiver on the far side. That's Trey Moore. He split a little bit more wide this time. There's the snap. Going to hand it off, and this time the defense was ready there for the dive.
It's a little outside dive, outside veer in the C gap. Yeah, they were sitting on that. I'm not so sure if Nate would have pulled that. He may have been running for a few days.
And so a 1 yard pickup there sets up a 2nd down and 9 here for the Tigers. And by the way, they lead it 40-21 with just under 10 minutes to go in the ball game. So they're going to be very deliberate, I think, with every snap here.
Oh, yeah.
Try to eat as much clock as they can with every snap of the ball. Konchesky under center. He'll take the snap, dropping back, looking to throw, fires it downfield, and that is going to be nearly caught going out of bounds.
Yep.
There, Trey Moore reached out fully extended trying to get that ball.
Yep. It's almost, and he put it right where only Trey could catch the ball too. Just a little bit long, but right there where he could catch the ball. He would have had his foot in.
Yeah, Nate and Trey Moore, they really look like they're in lockstep with each other.
Mm-hmm. I kept waiting for the stop and go. That was just a go.
And so this brings up 3rd down and 9 here for the Tigers as they try to convert on a long play here. Keep this drive going, eat some more clock. Man motions to left. That's going to be a quick pitch over to Miles Twyman. Tries to break free, and he is going to be brought down. It's going to bring up 4th down and about 5, so definitely 4-down territory.
Yeah, he's got it manageable at 5 yards.
And the clock keeps ticking. Ball at the 31-yard line, brings up 4th down and 5. Konchesky at quarterback. They'll get everybody lined up. A little shuffling around there right before the play. And we get ready for the snap from Nate. Maybe trying to draw him off sides there first. But Midle did not take the bait there.
Timeout here.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Call
sure
a timeout.
enough.
That was good. We let what, 38 seconds run off the clock?
Yeah. Let's take a quick timeout. 8:48 left to go here in the ball game. Darlington leads at 40-21, 4th down and 6 from the Model 31 when we come back 30 seconds.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
Georgia Tech football on the airwaves of WLAQ coming up tomorrow. They're on the road to face Duke. That'll be a noon kickoff. You can listen to the pregame with Andy Demetra and his crew starting at 10 o'clock. So get all the ins and the outs for 2 hours before you get into the game. Get all the insights, which is always a great thing to do. And I'm looking forward to it, man. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets 6-0, ranked number 12. Maybe a playoff push this year. We'll see what happens. I don't want to try to jinx it. But the Tigers right now with a 4th and 6. There's the snap. Quick toss goes to Bo Powers. A reverse and a throw. Connects with Miles Twyman. He's inside the 20, 10, 5. Gone.
Did he make it?
Touchdown, Darlington Tigers.
He walked the tightrope.
On a trick play.
Gave Model some of their stuff.
31-yard play. Absolutely went to the bag of tricks.
Oh, man.
And scored on a trick play. Man, I want to see that again.
Oh, yeah. That was super. That was super. I don't know how Miles has great balance on the sideline, too. He tight-roped that. He got hit and just still That's just strength.
Oh, man, I can't wait to see the replay on that one. But right now we've got the extra point coming up here from Desalu, and that might have been the final dagger right there, Coach. That one hurt if you're the Model Blue Devils because they were in trouble already. But here comes the kick, and that one's going to be through. He makes the extra point, and the Tigers lead it, 47-21?
47-21. Here we go. Here we go.
All right.
Pitch to Powers.
To Bo. Went back
to Donaldson.
Then Donaldson throws the toss to Miles, and Miles into the end zone. So,
wow, great balance. Great balance.
I'm just writing the numbers down so I can remember the sequence. So it was Konchesky to Bo Powers to Donaldson, the toss from Donaldson to Twyman, and then Twyman ran it in for the touchdown. That was some kind of play, wasn't it, Coach Powers?
It was.
Man.
It was.
That's going to be fun to talk about on the Coach Grove show. I want to know how they determined that was going to be the play there.
I don't know. They probably had that play in their playbook.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it this year.
No. All right. So 8:36 left to go in the ball game, and the Tigers have just scored on a trick play. 47-21 is the score. Desalu's got it teed up, ready to kick it back to the Blue Devils, who have got their backs up against the wall big time right now. And so here comes the kick from Desalu. That one's going to be end over end, and running it down for Model is going to be Tyler Harrell. He'll bring it out from near the goal line, stays up, and breaks off a couple of tackles and carries a man out at about the 30-yard line. We got a flag, though, Coach.
That's maybe holding. I've been wrong on a couple of holdings.
That was Rance Cunningham, actually. I said Harrell, but it was Cunningham.
Rance.
Holding. You were right. Going to have a brief wrap-up show at the end of tonight's action, and we may cut into the time of the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard show because the game is starting to run a little bit long here tonight.
Right, and it's probably Model's probably going to go to the air right here. Usually Darlington's games go a little quicker because we're running the ball, but
of course especially at the beginning of the year, it was such a wild season because you had the game that was out Mount Vernon.
Yes,
that got delayed because of the weather. They didn't have lights, so you had to go back the next day. And then you had the wild game against Ridgeland that went 4 overtimes before it was over. So it's been an interesting season in a lot of respects.
I'll tell you about who's going strong. There it is on the video. I was just getting ready to say, get a shot of that student section.
Yeah.
Those Darlington students have been going hard the whole game. Here they go. They stay behind their team, win or lose.
And so after the penalty yards are marched off, that's going to back Model all the way up to their own 12 here as they get ready to start this drive. So the Blue Devils will line up in a shotgun with 2 wide to the near side, 1 on the far side. C.J. Walker is rolling to his left, looking downfield, puts the ball in the air, and he connects. I think I saw a flag come in there.
Was he over the line of scrimmage?
He might have been.
Yep, I think he was.
Yeah, he connected with Chaden Woodley there on the play, but I think you're right. This one's coming back.
I didn't really notice that until they threw the flag. Yep. I believe he was, watch the replay. He threw it at the 10. Yeah. No, he was.
No.
I
think they said an ineligible receiver
downfield. Yep. Makes sense. I didn't think he was. I thought he might have been closer than that to the line of scrimmage.
So now it's going to be 1st down and 15 with the ball at the 7-yard line here for the Blue Devils. Logan Sprayberry comes off the field for this package.
Zach Nichols in. Got to give my St. Mary's guys little props.
Shotgun formation. I was at St. Mary's. That was a long time ago, though. There's a screen pass, and he connects with number 3, Zach Nichols, that you just referenced, and he was dropped at about the 3-yard line.
Sorry, Zach. That was well read.
It was.
It was well read. Great tackle. Brooke Temple. You try to throw a quick screen on Brooke Temple. He's quick. He's quick himself.
Oh, man. You blink your eyes.
Yeah.
Like, where'd he come from? And so this is second down.
I know I shouldn't do this with 7:20 to go and up with a big lead, but I thought we tackled him on like the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I did too. Shotgun formation in the end zone. Walker being chased down by Desalu. Gets rid of the ball just in time. Incomplete. That was dangerous. Man.
The model line's having a hard time handling our defensive line now. That's what happens when everybody knows you're going to pass. Our defensive line was a tremendous rush.
And those guys are doing a great job out there tonight. Want to make sure we get their names in as much as we possibly can. Some big guys up front. Maddox Rotten is one of them. And also you got Ade Desalu as well. And big number 77 up there working hard tonight. Wyatt Wood. I don't want to leave anybody out.
Cooper Norris.
Yep. There's the snap. Walker in the back in the end zone. A flag came in on the play.
Delay a game. Yep, delay a game. Well, that's what, you know, you don't want to delay a game here, but you had third and 16 from your own 4-yard line. May have had a hard time finding a play to call.
Yeah.
I know I didn't have one on my play sheet for that.
C.J. Walker ready to take the snap. He's got 4 wide receivers, has to take the snap in the end zone, in the danger zone. There's the snap, dropping back, looking to throw, puts the ball in the air, connects with Chaden Woodley. What a grab, and the coverage was there.
Yeah, great
Brooke
throw.
Temple played it nicely, but Chaden Woodley just went up and made a play.
Great throw, great catch.
Yep. I got to tell you, Chaden Woodley is some kind of athlete, man. I've had the pleasure of watching him play a lot of basketball. He is really good.
The game I came to at Model, he had I don't know 4 or 5 catches, really good.
Now he is VJ Saxton's nephew, isn't he?
Yes.
VJ and Victoria.
Yep.
Gonna have 2 wide to the near side, couple on the far side for Model. Dropping back to throw is C.J. Walker. Pump fakes, put the ball in the air, trying to hit Woodley again, and a flag comes in.
I don't agree with that.
Going to be a PI against the Tigers and Nate Konchesky.
Yeah. I don't agree with 2 things. I don't agree with the call, but then also I don't agree with how we played it either. You know, I didn't see anything there. These both, you know.
But regardless, Model's going to have the ball at the 44-yard line with a fresh set of downs here. 6:38 left to go in the game. Definitely feels like it should be in pocket for the Darlington Tigers, but you don't want to get sloppy here and leave them any room for sure.
No. If anything, take off some time. Make them use some time to score.
There's the snap. Walker going to put it in the air, and that's going to fall incomplete. Good coverage there. Looked like Stuart Grigsby was right on the wide receiver, who was number 2, Rance Cunningham.
Yeah. We're putting just enough pressure on there to keep him off balance. It's Cooper Norris again over there, left end.
And so 2nd and 10 coming up here for the Model Blue Devils from the 44-yard line on Darlington's side of the field as they try to claw their way back into this game. But we're getting late, 6:32 left to go.
Right.
Couple of wide receivers on each side of the formation. C.J. Walker ready to take the snap. There it is. He drops back looking to throw. Eyes downfield. Is going to connect with a receiver. Did the ball come loose at the end of the play? I think it did. I think Darlington. It might have gone out of bounds before the Darlington player came in and got it.
The referee is not giving a very valid signal. What's he? It was either a catch and a fumble, or incomplete, or a catch and a fumble, and the ball went out of bounds. I don't know if we recovered it. We recovered it.
And I couldn't tell if it went out of bounds or not because obviously it happened on the sidelines where the Model's bench is standing. And
the official's calling it. Oh, okay. Got a player hurt. I was going to say, that reminded me he's going to call timeout. We're going to have a review.
Yeah, we don't have it at this level yet. Maybe
Yes.
one day. Well, let's take an opportunity here to run down some scores. You remember earlier we were talking about how Haralson County had a big lead over Pepperell? Well, that has evaporated. Pepperell was up last check 41-35.
Wow.
Yeah, what a game that's turned out
They've
to be.
gone. Oh, wow.
Cartersville final over Cedartown 52-0. You've got Rockmart over LFO late in the fourth quarter up 41-13. Sonoraville over Ringgold 34-27 in the fourth quarter. All right, it's going to be Blue Devils football.
Said forward motion had stopped the play.
Gotcha. So 3rd down and 5 from the 39-yard line. Shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers on each side. There's the snap. Going to hand it off to Hardiker, who dives forward. He was real close to the first down there. I think they'll give it to him.
Got us back on our heels playing pass defense. But we'll allow that. We'll allow that right there because the clock's going to run. So Model's got 3 timeouts left.
2 wide receivers on each side. There's the snap, the give to Hardiker, and he goes out towards the right side, gets about 3 or 4 yards, and as you talked about, Coach, the clock running.
Yep. Just keep on handing it off.
Yep. Definitely plays into Darlington's favor at this point in time with a 47-21 lead.
Well, that's a great tackle.
If Model's going to get back into it, they're going to have to strike quick. 2 wide receivers on the near side here on 2nd down and long, and C.J. Walker rolling to his left, puts it in the air, connects with Woodley. He goes out of bounds at about the 17.
That's a combination I've seen before. Yep, from Model. Those 2 guys right got good connection. We got to get outside, though. We're letting Walker get out on the corner where he can run the ball or throw it. We got to make him uncomfortable.
And so the Blue Devils now with the ball at the 20 with 1st and 10 with 5:28 left to go. 2 more games after tonight of the regular season for the Tigers. Next week back home against Temple. And Temple, they start off the season strong in non-region play, won 4 games straight, but they've lost all 4 of their region games so far. Is it 3 or 4?
3 or 4, yeah.
Here's the snap. Quarterback was going to look like he was going to hand it off to
Rance Cunningham.
Yeah.
Yep, the jet sweep. That's been their best running play besides C.J. Walker scrambling.
Oh, absolutely. Temple, they started 4-0, and then they lost 4 region games. They're on a bye this week, and then of course, the Tigers are going to host them next week.
Yes.
So,
yes, it's good to be at home. Last 2 weeks.
Isn't that the truth? The Tigers have been the ultimate road warriors this year. 6 out of 10 games on the road in the regular season. Just one of those funny scheduling things this year. 2 wide receivers on each side. 1st and 15 for Model. They're going to try to run that sweep again. Nope. Halfback pass, puts it in the air, and is going to be incomplete. So they run another trick play.
He was open.
He was
open for a few steps.
Pass was thrown by Jackson West.
We got to learn. We got to play. I know that the game's kind of out of hand, but we got to play better. We got to be more disciplined in that. To know when you're up by more than 20 points, and there's five minutes to go, you got to look for those things.
Oh, absolutely. 2 wide receivers on the near side, couple on the far side. As CJ gets ready to take the snap, he's got the ball. He's going to throw it to the near side, gets it to West, and he is going to be dropped quick at about the 25-yard line. See the replay there. I think Wood was there and also Desalu, unless I'm badly mistaken, but they got there in a hurry. Yeah, man, that was a big hit from Desalu. My goodness.
Desalu
drilled him.
Yep.
Okay, so Model now with 3rd down and 14 coming up here. They've got the ball at the 24-yard line, ready to take the snap. CJ takes it. Ball's loose on the turf, and Hardiker's able to cover there, preserve the possession.
They've had trouble with that handoff a couple of times tonight.
They have. Turnover-wise, I think there have been 2 for Model and 1 for Darlington, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, big down here, 4th down.
4 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock remaining in this one. And Darlington well on their way to picking up their 3rd win of the season. And it's going to taste sweet, isn't it?
It is. We need it. Which is what the doctor ordered.
Empty backfield. Walker going to put the ball in the air, connects with Woodley on the sidelines, gets out of bounds.
Him and Woodley have just got that connection. But I don't think he got a first down, did he?
He was fairly close, but I think he's going to be short a couple of yards. Yep. So that's going to be a turnover on downs there for the Model Blue Devils.
Great job by Brooke Temple breaking up on the ball and just push him out of bounds short of the marker. That's when you can easily give them 14 yards when they need 18.
And, you know, one of the things that we've noticed about Brooke Temple is he does the little things very well, doesn't he?
He does.
Blocks. He is a really good runner. You just saw the defensive play that you pointed out. He's very detail-oriented.
I think Levi Duggan's back in at quarterback. Good to see him back again this game.
So Darlington's going to start at their own 13-yard line after the turnover on downs there by the Model Blue Devils. The officials right now coming out, going to have a little conference here before we resume. I think they're giving a sideline warning maybe.
Sideline warning to Model.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that could be about. Maybe just sometimes they just do that to get coaches back off the sideline some.
Did you have somebody on the sidelines that was responsible for keeping you where you needed to be?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Or Duggan under center this time, and he's going to hand it off. They'll try to run it up the middle, but there's nothing there.
Yeah, for a while it was my oldest son, Bryant.
Okay.
And then when after Stephen finished his days at Tech, he was back. But they emphasize things on different years, rules. There was one year they said, all right, we're going to emphasize coaches staying way off the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
Players back. They're going to emphasize that. So they got more sideline warnings that year. I mean, we got them. The other team got them. You know, they were just trying to emphasize that.
I know in basketball several years ago it was the hand check
that
they really emphasized for a while. Here comes the snap. Konchesky's going to hand it off, or not Konchesky, Levi Duggan, excuse me. Credit where credit's due. Gave it off to Mazo.
I think Mazo took that ball. I said, I'm going to get my yards.
So that's going to bring up 3rd down and 7 here for the Darlington Tigers with 2:49 left to go. They're just trying to eat as much clock as they possibly can and take this one to the house. Getting a little Sweet Caroline played by the marching band here at Model. Of course, the best place to experience that live is going to be at Fenway Park. If you've never had that experience,
never had that one.
Oh, man, it's wonderful, wonderful time. They're going to be a quick pitch over to Ragland. Gets out to the edge, stays up, and he has got a first down. What a run, Coach.
What a run. He said, boys, y'all just been give me the ball a long time ago.
Oh, man.
He's played some great defense, so he deserves to get a carry.
Absolutely.
J.B. Ragland, good blocking out there.
So now the Tigers are going to have 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. They're almost getting close to taking a knee time, huh?
Yeah, and Model's going to let them do it because Model's got 3 timeouts. I wouldn't call one.
Ethan Height is split to the far side, and Duggan takes the snap. He's going to hand it off, and they go up the middle.
Was that somebody different?
Duggan took the snap. Let's see who he handed it off to. I think it was Mazo again, but we'll get a check on this number. Make sure. Yeah, it was Mazo.
Mazo.
Yep.
Mazo is going to have to get an ice bucket, the ice bath tonight.
He's had a great game.
Yeah, had a great game. And, you know, we talked about that. We established that dive early. You didn't have to be a 30-yard run, but you get 5-6 yards on a dive. Everything else just opens up.
All right, so.
Like we're taking a knee.
Yep. The Tigers in your favorite formation.
Yeah,
here,
I was getting ready to say. My favorite formation.
Victory formation. There's the first knee there by Levi. 1 minute left, just about to go, under a minute to go, and the Tigers are getting ready to go into celebration mode here tonight. And I bet it feels great.
Oh, yeah, they haven't experienced it in a few weeks. This is going to be good. Maybe build up some momentum for the Temple game next week.
Absolutely. Tigers have not won since August 29th when they beat Ridgeland in 4 overtimes. So they've lost the last 4 games. There is another knee.
Plus an open week, so
right?
it's been a while.
Congratulations there, Coach Loudermilk, the offensive
Loudermilk,
coordinator. Does a fantastic job. And, Coach, that's the ball game.
That is the ball game.
47-21 is your final score. The Darlington Tigers are victorious tonight in one of 2 games in the regular season in which they play a Floyd County Schools team, and they pick up the victory here at Model at Woodard Tuggle Stadium. So congratulations to Coach Groves and his team. One of the things I really admire about the players on this team and the coaching staff, they've had some tough times this year, but they've never quit grinding no matter what the situation was, and tonight they get to reap some of the rewards of the hard work that they put in this season. So it's great
They
to
sure
see
do.
it.
It's great to see that and to come out and play the way they did. Defense got stronger in the second half.
They really did. They really did. Well, Coach, we're going to take about a 3-minute break, down the line. We'll come back with the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. We got a little discussion, and we'll be back to give you that and bid you adieu in the post-game show after a 3-minute timeout.
Coosa Steel is a family-owned full-line steel service center located in Rome, Georgia. Since 1972, we've been working to make our customers more efficient by providing steel product supply and processing all in one place. We are proud to provide a large range of products, including hot-rolled and cold-finished steel, stainless steel, galvanized steel, aluminum, and alloys. Our capabilities enable us to assemble and process steel orders within days, shortening your lead time. Coosa Steel. Steel for your project.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
The deadline for 2026 to 2027 priority application and financial aid is February 15th. Schedule your private campus tour at www.darlingtonschool.org/visit or by emailing admission@darlingtonschool.org.
Mark your calendar for Alumni Weekend on October 24th through October 26th. For information on hotel blocks and reunions for classes ending in 0 and 5, visit our website at www.darlingtonschool.org/alumni weekend. We hope to see you there.
got to tell you, it was a great game for the Darlington Tigers. They pick up their third victory of the season on the road, 47-21, and look good doing it tonight. Just a great game for the Darlington Tigers. And now we've got the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. And once again, the Darlington Tigers made it a difficult decision because they had a lot of guys that contributed to this game tonight. Of course, you had Mazo, who did a great job at the B-back position tonight and picked up, I don't have his final totals. I know he scored a touchdown, had a bunch of yards here in the game.
Yeah, it's close
really
to
did
100.
some tough running here tonight, had some good blocks up front and whatnot, but he did a great job, obviously, in the absence of Matias Selling, kind of shifting some things around at that B-back position like they've done. So he did a great job. So he certainly was in the running tonight. Once again, you saw Miles Twyman with a 2-touchdown night. Looked great tonight. Who are some other guys that had big games tonight, Coach?
Gosh.
J.B. Ragland recovered a fumble, made some great defensive plays, had a couple of good runs in the game. Nate Konchesky scored a touchdown, did a great job at quarterback.
Those guys on special teams, Ty Wood and Grigsby, and then we were talking about earlier about Temple.
Oh, Brooke Temple.
Brooke Temple.
Another great game from that
those,
young man.
Those kind of quiet, not a big stat guy, but quietly played a really good game. And I think that's why there's a victory tonight, because we have so many kids that contributed.
Oh, no doubt. And then the Tigers were able to get some good push up front at the line of scrimmage in terms of the offensive line, and then also the defensive line played a great game tonight. So a lot of credit goes in a lot of places here in this victory.
A lot of places, coaches all the way around.
But I'm not sure what his final stat line was tonight, but I know at the beginning of the third quarter of the football game, a couple plays in, Bo Powers eclipsed 150 yards. So he had a big night tonight, and he scored a couple of touchdowns. One was on a 10-yard pass. That was right after he had a 30-yard play the play before that set that up. 2 plays in a row, he was able to get into the end zone. And then we also saw a 65-yard run from Bo Powers on a pitch play earlier in the game, and that helped create some separation on the scoreboard as well. That was actually later in the game, I should say. So Bo Powers had a big game tonight, and so for the second time of the season, he has earned the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. So congratulations to him. That's awesome, man. That's fantastic.
Well, that's good. Just a all-around. Everybody played a good all-around game. Defense came on the second half pretty good. So we gave it 1 score the second half.
I think what I'm going to do is reach out to my contact over at Honeymoon Bakery, and on behalf of the radio station, we're going to put together a package and take it to the whole team, because
I think they do need it. Yeah,
I think everybody deserves it.
Oh well, just like on Bo Powers' run and Twyman's run, they all blocking for each other. Twyman's blocking for Bo, Bo's blocking for Twyman. Trey Moore is out there blocking in the secondary. It's some of the best open field blocking and I've seen in a long time from a high school team.
Well, the Darlington Tigers coach, they are now 3-5 on the season, get their first region win here at Model 1-3 in that category, and in a season in which the Tigers play 6 of the regular season games on the road. That's in the rearview mirror now. They get to enjoy the final 2 games, the friendly confines of Chris Hunter Stadium in front of the home crowd next week. Tigers are going to host Temple, also a team of Tigers. And Temple start off hot, winning their first 4 games. Since they've gotten into region schedule, they've dropped 4 in a row. Tigers are going to try to make it 5 next week. The Temple Tigers are on a bye this week. So that's pretty much going to put a wrap on it. As we get ready to wind down, though, I do want to recognize the crew one more time. We're going to start with the video crew here tonight, and we will recognize everybody involved in that. Jesse Vitello and Afton Taylor on press box cameras, Kate Travis with remote camera. Replay was Nathan Patterson, director's Mike Garrett, and then also want to mention Caleb Bice. I hope he's still watching. He's one of the camera operators. He was watching from Tennessee tonight on a little bit of a trip here on fall break. So, Caleb, I hope you hear this. And with that said, I'm Matt Davis, alongside Gordon Powers tonight, filling in for Ian. And, man, as always, you did a great job. Got a lot of great text and comments on the insight you provide on the broadcast. And it's always a pleasure catching up with you, man.
It is. I enjoy coming and doing it and helping out. Nobody can replace Ian. I've got where I start watching him now, listening to him. He's got some good insight and just been doing it for a while. And you guys do a great job. And with the whole broadcast now, we're tying it into the tying it into the video and the YouTube and that sort of thing. It's just, I mean, we have people from a lot of relatives, you know, from around in Tennessee and Kentucky, and you know, Debbie's dad passed away last March, and he watched your broadcast religiously. You know, watched what Bodie was doing and what the Tigers were doing.
Well, Nathan and his group with Northwest Georgia Media, they have just taken that to the next level. We appreciate their partnership with us and the opportunity to provide our audio to what they're doing. It's always fun, and we always have a good time. You know, you get the band together every week, and you go out and you have the fellowship and all those sorts of things, and it's just a great time.
There's no way I could figure out all this soundboard and all these. We have people can't see it. They can't see it. We have like 45 wires plugged in all over the place.
It looks like a bird's nest over here. I think I need to clean that up a little bit. But, well, it's always a lot more fun, too, when you get to say at the end of the night, victory for the Darlington Tigers. They pick up the win tonight. 47-21 is your final score for Gordon Powers and Matt Davis. And last but not least, Lynn Butler back at the studio, and he's with his son Austin. And so you've got Lynn Butler and Austin Butler getting ready for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show. Congratulations to Coach Groves and the Darlington Tigers, the rest of his coaching staff, on a victory tonight, and hopefully they can repeat coming up next week against the Temple Tigers. You want to be there. One more time I'll mention they're going to recognize Tate Ratledge there and retire his jersey. It's going to be a special night, and we hope to see you there at Chris Hunter Stadium coming up next week. So that puts a wrap on it for tonight. Hope you have a great night, everybody. So long.